Yo, what is going on, everybody? Thank you all so much for tuning into this live stream segment of For the People podcast. And today is indeed a special episode. But for those of you who are tuning in, just know that we are live streaming right now on YouTube. We are live streaming on Rockfin. We are live streaming on Twitter. And we are live streaming on Rumble. Probably, you know, it's kind of always, we always gambling with fate when it comes to Rumble, but we're streaming everywhere that we can. We're actually about to add a kick stream pretty soon because everybody keeps telling me to go there because they said it's like neoliberal hell out there, for real. I guess kind of like Twitch, so we're going to try to make it out there too. I know we got some other progressives that are streaming out there, but before we get the show on the road, first of all, if you want to support the show, you can become a premium member by clicking on the link in the description. You can also join our Telegram channel to get all the updates and all that good stuff. You can also join our Patreon, or you can become a premium member on Rockfin. Any of those ways help, but of course, we ain't here to take your money. If you can share, that is just as helpful, and I greatly appreciate that. So I would like to introduce my very special guests. Both you have seen on the show one at a time, but we ain't never had both of them together. Nick, Cruse, and Rome. Unholy. From Revolutionary Blackout Network. What is going on, fam?
What's popping? It's good to be on here with both of my RBN brothers. I mean, we just had Niko on not too long ago, and like I said, bro, the only thing that's stopping you from being an RBN member it's just in name only. So I feel like I'm on stream with two of my RBN brothers, my hotspot assassin. I got a banger coming out today too, so wait for that one.
Same. I just got done doing mine. What's going on, Ron? How you been, bro?
Man, I've been good. I was supposed to go to Chicago to talk to the Black Panther Cubs again. I'm trying to get the Young Lords on the channel and whatnot. Just trying to connect with some Black liberation movements, and that's all I've been focusing on right now. Trying to solidify RBN more on the ground with these, radical minds, because it's so easy to get chalked up and caught up with these fights with these liberals and whatnot. And I think,
hey, that's some real shit, bro. This man Rome, boy, you just be out here just spitting for no reason. Man, just be casually, yeah, man. We get caught with these liberals, bro. We be forgetting about going to make our peace, our argument for unity, dog. Like, oh shit, yeah, you actually right. I forgot about that. I ain't gonna cap. I'm like, damn, that's actually a good ass point. Listen, bro, this is why I had to bring both of y'all on. Because, I mean, from y'all both offer these very unique perspectives that come from the on-the-ground expertise because of what y'all have done experientially, but also just through lived experience. Because even though y'all are technically both from the Midwest, anybody from out there knows, like, their Midwestern experience is different because, the South being the South and Michigan being what it is. And then also, I just feel like not necessarily, y'all priorities are the same, but the way y'all go about them based on your skill set as human beings is just truly extraordinary to me. And not just y'all, but it's the first time I ever had y'all together. Sabby doing her thing, JB doing her thing. Like, it's some good stuff, bro. It's some good stuff. So first of all, before we get into the nitty gritty, and Kyle, I just want to let the show flow today. We're going to look at some clips that I got, but I really want to let the show flow today. Let me know how y'all went about handling Chicago, because nigga like me, I would have just been mad all day for 4 or 5 days straight. I ain't gonna lie. But how did y'all? I saw Nick's speech. Nick's speech was excellent. But like, what did y'all do on the ground?
It was great. And Rome, feel free to chime in if you want as well. But it was great to be on the ground, being amongst our community, talking to the resistance fighters, talking to the people who care so much they're willing to donate their time and willing to risk police retaliation, which is what another one of my big takeaways is, the police state that the Democratic Party is building in order to protect the genocidal ruling class. Like, Rome, we were talking about everywhere we go, there's like a fucking army of cops everywhere in order to protect the ruling class.
Like the inauguration for Biden.
Yeah, it's the same thing. That's what our ruling class has. That's how uncivilized we are. We are not trying to address the needs and the wants of the people. We are creating a police state in order to protect and insulate the ruling class from consequences of their actions. There was a poll I saw today. We may cover on the roundtable, Rome, where it showed 8 out of 10 Democrats support ending arms sales to Israel. So because we're an authoritarian country, we would never actually do what the voters want. So instead of addressing that problem, they create a police state to whoop the ass of American citizens instead.
And
so
bro,
that was
isn't
my
that terrifying? It's like that everybody seems so okay with that. They're like, yeah, man, we know we cheated. We know that there are at least enough people aware that we cheated, that we have to put up security and pay cops to stop people from challenging us. And everybody's like, yeah, that's cool. Why? I don't want those candidates, bro. I don't want a candidate that has to ride. Not without security, because obviously every candidate needs security. But like, I don't want the candidate from the party that has to buy off the entire city's police department to protect them because they're worried about the consequences of the damage they've done to the people. That's some Banana Republic shit.
And to be honest, you're not the only one. America doesn't want that candidate. To be honest, Kamala Harris is losing. Like, she's losing horribly. And to be out there in Chicago and to see the people out there in community and solidarity in person, it was like, you know, it was like a movie to me, you know, to see the people moving as one and from different backgrounds, different states, and sometimes different countries and whatnot, to be able to talk to people, connect with other communist groups and whatnot. It really felt good, you know. So, you know, out there in Chicago, it was a lot of opportunity to make things happen, and it still is. I'm still thinking about creating a gun club out there for all my hooligans who like to shoot, you know. And,
you know, I'm going to join too, because I'm already a martial artist. Wait till I learn how to Rome teach me how to shoot guns, bro. I'm going to be out here like Deadpool.
Man, I'm telling you, like, in the Midwest, the laws are so lax that we can own rocket launchers. It's so many things that people don't understand, right? When it comes to certain laws.
Who founded Black Guns Matter, Maj Toure, I believe his name is.
Yeah.
But he carries everywhere. He carries everywhere, and he actually has won in several cities and states where they try to arrest him for his gun. Like, and
that's the next stage of my evolution. The next stage of my evolution is getting leftist armed, because I'm a martial artist. I told you guys, I inherently never liked guns because I hated how it evened the playing field. But I'm all for revolution. I'm not one of these liberals.
That's
I think
true.
we should arm up. I think so on a personal preference. And me and Rome talk about this all the time. We talk shit. And I'm like, nigga, Rome, I'll whoop your ass. Rome like, nigga, I'll shoot. Y'all like, oh yeah, you're right.
I mean, yeah, you gonna win, right? Like, I can't afford a Kevlar vest. That shit more expensive than a damn gun. Like, real shit. But
I think it's necessary.
MMA classes cost way more than AK-47. MMA classes cost way more than AK-47, but I still encourage you to learn how to fight.
That's why I'm gonna start. That's why I train people for free, bro. I haven't done any like formal training in like a year and a half because the schools here suck. The only good school is like fucking 45 minutes away, and every school garbage.
I had a lot of Brazilian jiu-jitsu out there. Didn't a lot of Brazilians move to
garbage? I train with ninjas. I train with I trained with a former jiu-jitsu world champion. And now because of the popularity of the UFC and MMA, there are a lot of these motherfuckers out here hustling, bro. Because I've been training for years. So I went through one of these schools last year. It's some bullshit, like some cardio. You're not learning anything. They charging like $150 a month. I'm like, bro, the martial arts scene is horrible now, bro. Like the best time to learn. I was lucky because the tough boom, the Ultimate Fighter boom, like the late 2000s, like 2006 to 2009 was like the best time to train, because that's when all these schools was popping up, and it wasn't that expensive then, bro. I used to train high level Japanese jiu-jitsu for $50 a month, bro. Good luck finding that nowadays. To Rome's point,
and those same trainers were, because even in the military, like they had some on post and had some outside of post for obvious reasons. And those same trainers were just doing the job part-time. They weren't doing it full-time. Like now, because it's so popular to do MMA, those guys are getting paid a lot of money. And like you said, it's kind of like the tattoo boom. Remember whenever the tattoo, what was that damn show? Ink, what was that? Y'all know that show I'm talking about? The reality TV show where all those motherfuckers got famous after they did the show, even though they didn't win. And they started opening up their own spots in popular locations. And like they're not even really doing the tattooing.
Black Ink crew.
Is that what it is?
Yep, Black
Man,
Ink.
look, they got watered down. But as far as the guns are concerned, I was the same way growing up. I didn't like guns because like I can scrap. So like, and I would rather resolve our issues that way, because in my like you get to know somebody when you fight them. Like, I can't really get to know you. Like,
and you can become friends after the fight. That's what I love about
having a lot growing up. Yeah,
you shake hands and you be a man. But you know, growing up in certain areas, it's like that shit not happening. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's not happening. If you beat a nigga ass, he's more likely gonna come back and shoot you or threaten you. And that's like the deal with the gun clubs that I'm building now. It's not just to get a whole bunch of niggas together who are gang members and shit like that. We are prepping people for revolution. Like people always say, what you gonna do? The Air Force has F-15s and this and that and tanks. Like, look, we run these cities. We know the ins and outs. We know the back of the alleys. We know the front of the streets. We know the top of the buildings. We know how they function, right? And we can get these people who are in this community. We can get them trained properly for revolution. Whatever happens, whatever comes our way, we will be armed and prepared. This is all this is about. See, people think, well, revolution is going to be this. Revolution is going to be this. Revolution is going to be that. Revolution is what you make it, right? But you need to be prepared for all obstacles that are in your way. You need to be prepared for the tanks. You need to be prepared for the cop cities that are built around your community. So while they are building cop cities, we should be building gun clubs. We should not only that gun club, we should have training for martial arts. We should have training for boxing. We should have training to,
for cooking, hunting,
proper trainer. Right? Yes. Guns even the playing field, like Nick said. Yes, but it don't only even a playing field for civilians. It even a playing field for us versus them. And who is them? The same people who will put snipers on the roof while you're protesting, right? Yep. And I have been telling the care party this. They was arguing about why we don't have uniforms. I said, so all you niggas want to just get arrested?
Yeah.
All you niggas, okay, so imagine the care party out there and we armed to the fucking T. Everybody got care, got the big ass hammer and sickle on their chest, on their arm, wherever the fuck you want to rock it, right? We all are the same.
About three too many black people, because if they got that little skin scale, and depending on how dark your skin is, that's when you a terrorist, right? So if like y'all was white, y'all would be a right wing extremist group, but y'all black. So now you're a terrorist organization.
Yes,
that's how it works.
I want to add something to this because it's something the left has been missing, and I always have these tweets why I try to invoke thought, because there are these clips of these and this is recent. You can go back in few years, same thing with the George Floyd protests as well, where you will see our people getting assaulted, but like right wingers. Right now, I've seen countless clips of people at the Free Palestine marches being assaulted. It's about self-defense and protecting our people. And people get confused. People are like, "Oh, you calling for violence?" I'm like, I ain't calling for anything. Self-defense is not violence, bro.
And if we can, but I'm ready for it. That's why I said I don't never call for violence, but I'm ready for this shit.
Yeah, I'm calling for violence. I'm calling for violence. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
I gotta make my point.
Line walkers
we know Rome call for violence. Rome ain't shy about it.
You're calling for violence. You're calling for violence. All you motherfuckers call for violence. When it comes to American imperialism, when it comes to our government lying to us about these wars that we go in and we kill countless of fucking people. We wipe out bloodlines. Fuck yes, I'm calling for violence. I'm calling for violence for all the black cities that were bombed and buried with city parks and man-made lakes. I'm calling for violence because it needs to be called upon. Now, yes, resistance and self-defense, that's a whole different thing, but we are being hit constantly over the fucking head. Fuck yes, I'm calling for you to hit back, punch back, at least block. What the fuck is wrong with y'all?
You ain't gonna let your kid get knocked out.
Let me finish my point I was making earlier. The point I was making earlier that we don't even have the first layer of self-defense. Imagine how many police officers, and this is when we get into real conversation. How many of these people are cowards who care more about self-preservation? So if we have a march where we have people with guns, you are less likely to have police assault your people. Not because we're going to unleash gunfire on them, but that moment hesitation that they will have because you're armed is exactly what we need to protect our people. That moment
people don't understand that but it's if you've ever been in an encounter, a physical altercation, right? There is a psychology that goes into it, like any sport, really, regardless of whether or not you're on the street. I've been in too many damn fights. I mean, I probably had my last real fight maybe only like 2.5 years ago. So y'all don't worry about that. Mind your business. My point is but when they know, if they know you or if they have an idea of who you are and they're looking at you, there is a moment of hesitation in that person that you're confronting, because now they have to think, is this shit even worth it? Because it could not go my way. And I don't even know if the benefits of me engaging in this encounter are worth the cost.
And I'm glad.
And that's what happens when they know your group is armed.
Niko, I'm glad you understand the point. I'll pass it to you, Rome, as well, because that's exactly the point I was making.
Game theory is like game theory, basically.
We could defend if we just open carried, if we was willing to engage in self-defense. You understand my point, and Rome, I'll pass it right to you. But that. Imagine the amount of people we could protect if we was willing to defend ourselves. That hesitation that would come from these white supremacist groups that people are afraid of. That I'm not. Because these bullies just need to be punched in the face, and there needed to be that threat. And that's why I said that self-defense is something the left has been ignoring for a long time. But go ahead, Rome. I know you want to chime in. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I was going to say, look at the cops that hesitates when there is a mass shooting. Just one. We have departments of cops that hesitates to take in a mass shooter, just a single mass shooter. Now imagine if we went out and protested in droves and we was armed to the teeth. You think they would, tear gas us? You think they would be hitting you with your shields or even try to come close to you? The threat of us having the upper hand shivers them to their fucking bones. And this is why I don't agree with too much protesting when it comes to, people, we're going to protest this, we're going to protest that. You guys aren't protesting. You guys are sanctioned off. You have your own little 2-3 blocks that you can do a fucking march around and yell on your fucking blowhorns. But at the end of the day, what are you actually changing? Who are you actually, like, when the motherfuckers see you out there and you on to the T and they like, oh fuck this shit, like these niggas, they for real. You're gonna have cops walking off of their jobs, quitting their jobs because they thought all they had was a bunch of weak ass niggas.
Bro, I don't want to interrupt, but that happened, didn't it? What was that damn? Was it fuck around found out? So I don't remember what group it was. But it was a group of black militants, well-trained, like they were doing class. I mean, it was a big deal to the point where Instagram banned their page because they were organizing marches, they were training people, they were in uniform, but they didn't give a shit because they were literally they were going out and marching and daring police officers to break them up. And them police officers were nowhere to be found. Someone in the chat, if y'all can remember what it is, because it happened right after the George Floyd shit happened. These people got word, they're like, yeah, nah, fuck that. Because they were realizing that peaceful protesters, I mean, they weren't just getting their ass whooped. People forget, like, there were protesters coming up missing. They are still missing to this day. Now, like the George Floyd protest, the protest that happened in Ferguson, like, people were missing. Kids were getting the shit beat out of them. There are some people who died and they just went damn near unaccounted for in some situations. Like, and this group of black people armed themselves, and not a single time were they confronted by any white supremacist group or any cops.
Because only time a coward feels comfortable is when he's around other cowards. And that's when they start to inflate their ego and feel like, oh yeah.
Oh, it's in fact not fucking around, crew. Appreciate you, chat. Sorry, go ahead. I just want to let everybody know.
That's why I always say, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know cops are gangs. The only people who get rewarded for bad behavior are gangs. And I'm still a part of a gang. Can't get out of it. Blood in, blood out, right? But you stuck. Yeah, you only get rewarded for bad behavior, and this is what cops do. And just like some of the people that was in my gang, they were cowards. They were only in it because they was around other people who didn't take shit.
That don't get discussed enough. How many cowards be in gangs? That's one of the reasons I never joined. Like, and none of the gangs in my hood never really pressured me. My brother joined, but that was after I was out the house. So he wanted protection, but he wasn't a coward. Like, he'd be one of the first ones to swing. But a lot of people join gangs because they're not the first one to swing.
Because they want protection. That's what cops do. That's what cops do. And I need to look at you. I need you to look at cops the same way that you see that coward. The same way you see that fucking square ball in that fucking gang. And you know this nigga ain't about that life. You know if he was to take off that flag, if he was to take off that badge, he wouldn't be talking to you that way. He
It's the
wouldn't walk in your
same shit.
neighborhood past 2
Anyone with
o'clock.
his
He wouldn't
homies,
stop
hey,
at the
right?
fucking local gas station past 12. You know what I'm saying? Look at them with the same lens and protect yourselves. Stop going out here. You think I didn't have a gun in California, in Chicago? You crazy? My white boy just carried it for me. You know what I'm
I'm about
saying?
to say, yeah, you'd be crazy not to have one out there, bro. I'm being dead ass for real, though. Like because it ain't just the police officers you got to worry about that wearing the uniforms, just the agitators who aren't wearing uniforms, and it's deeper than just like a black and white good versus evil. They try to muddy the waters. One of the things I love about RBN and Rome and Nick and Savvy and Jay, the way that y'all approach it is that I feel like y'all have kind of been a standard to show that black people, that educated black people who are revolutionaries and have something to lose are not monolithic. And we don't all look alike. We don't all look like Fred Hampton and talk like Fred Hampton. Some of us went to higher education. Some of us were educated from our experiences growing up. Some of us were in the South. Some of us are up north. Some of us were Army babies. But it still led all of y'all to the same place, the same belief system for the most part, and for the most part, the same solutions. So it really lets people know, like, yo, we actually have a very diverse population of revolutionaries, but we gotta weaponize it. I mean, I don't know how to say it because it ain't like Rome said. I don't know how y'all put it, but we have to weaponize our uniqueness, our talents, and ultimately our audiences and base against this capitalist system. Because what Rome said about advocating for violence, which I once again I'm not really inherently against. The reason why he feels so strongly about that, and I'm just going to venture to guess, is because at some point you are implicitly complicit if you continue to allow the empire to drop bombs wherever they want to, overthrow whoever they want to, destroy governments wherever they want to, then you are implicitly complicit. And some people will say, well, what can I do? Rome is telling you, I mean, once again, I'm not saying what's right or wrong. I'm just telling you what might be necessary. Right. And that there are moral consequences that we live with. I wake up with every day on my shoulders. I don't even live in the U.S. anymore. I moved the fuck out. Partially because of that shit. Because I just got tired of it. I'm like, yo, I can't keep living in a world that can only exist based off the corruption of other, like, or based off its corruption and dealings in other countries. I can't do it anymore. That's part of the reason why. But like every day you wake up with that guilt.
A lot of groups not fucking with RBN, first of all, because of Nick is like the fucking, let's say the mascot. Like Nick is the talking head, and you can't get around this nigga. You can't, like, he's gonna win that argument. Like,
I will make the argument that Savvy is, but I hear you.
Yeah. Savvy is the hard hitter. Savvy is the nigga who walking behind the motherfucker. Nick is the nigga talking to you.
That is Savvy, low key. Savvy do be.
You know what I'm saying? Savvy the sleeper. She the sleeper, but man, a lot of people not fucking with RBN because we are true to this shit. We're not here to make no money. We're not here to fucking sell you things or whatever the fuck it may be. We are here for you. You know what I'm saying? And when we first started, Fred Hampton left this Black Rose Brigade, and we was always us. We all have been us. And, you know, a lot of us have moved left since this, but we have learned. And what we have learned is if you don't have an audience that's constantly pushing you to the left, then you will sell out. You know what I'm saying? You like, you know, your audience have to teach you as well as you teach them. And that's what I'm grateful for the RBN community. I'm grateful for my brothers and sisters, Nick, Sandy, JP, and everybody who has joined RBN or been a part of RBN, especially Afeni. You know,
shout out to Afeni. Hey,
we still love Afeni.
She been going crazy on the internet lately. I'm like, oh, good to see Afeni back.
Yeah, I love to see Afeni thriving, man. Afeni is.
But every time she come back, because y'all know she be taking her little breaks, and I respect it, boy, because it's exhausting. And well, every time she come back, well, you know, she about to feel it. She about to go off for a good 2-3 weeks straight, and she's been killing it, dog. I've been seeing her randomly going viral on TikTok. I didn't even follow her on TikTok before. They just popped up on my shit.
Yeah, and Niko, to your point that you was making earlier regarding RBN not being a monolith, and this is how many times I told the team this wrong. Like that was always the point. Even when we have these small disagreements, I said disagreements that we have among the group is good because we hear to show that the black left actually has a lot of ideas, and we are far from different, even among the black left, let alone the other subgroups of black politics, let alone the black conservatives, the black liberals, the black left. There's a lot of thought within one subsection. Now, think about how it was before RBN, and the only reason I got into YouTube before I was an activist, I was a writer. The only reason I got into YouTube because I saw the independent left media space was a complete fucking joke. You wouldn't know who was the opinion that everyone asked whenever they wanted the opinion of the black left. Now that we highlight the fact that the black left is very significantly. You guys see it from Savvy's coverage, my coverage, JB coverage, Rome's coverage. You know what I mean? And then the people we have on top of that, we have all these black radicals on who frame things differently than us, who have different priorities. But you want to know how it was before? Whenever they wanted the opinion of the black left, hey, we got Brianna Joy Gray that's going to join us today. She's going to explain what the black left is feeling. No anger at Brianna Joy Gray.
And
but
shit, and before Bree, it won't even Bree. It was just they would look at me. They were like, "Hey Niko," they DM me, "Hey man, how you feel about this?" They would DM me. They wouldn't even invite me. Hey man, how you feel about this?
Well, this only black nigga over here.
Opinion. This is my opinion about this. I'm just talking. I ain't even think anything of it. Then these motherfuckers will go on their show and this is how black people are feeling about it. Did you think about it like this?
Niko,
I'm like, this motherfucker.
The only reason I didn't say your name is because you was blacklisted. We know because we talked about it before.
I know. That's what makes it funny because it's true. That's why I laugh. I say it jokingly because Bree's a homie and I don't really have a problem with it. But I always say y'all do know there's more black journalists, there's more black activists. And more black educated, experienced political analysts outside of just Bree. Y'all know that, right?
And it was a coordinated effort. This is my interpretation of it, Niko. It was a coordinated effort to avoid everyone other than Bree. It was Bree and Nina Turner. And it was a coordinated, not like we don't know black leftists are everywhere. Everyone. It was a coordinated effort to shut us out. So I'm like, instead of begging to be platformed, because Niko, one of the first person, Niko, and I will give Jordan credit. He platformed me too in the beginning. Jordan and Niko are the only two people who platform me. And I'm thinking, I'm doing all this stuff. I'm traveling, talking to black people on the campaign, doing speeches at black barbershops. People wonder why I can get speeches. Nigga, this is not the first time. I was giving speeches my whole life. So I'm doing all this stuff on the ground. Meanwhile, no interviews. No one reaching out. I'm like, dude, I know I'll be a bitch ass nigga and beg for people to platform me. So I'll platform myself. I was like, that's our plan. No one want to talk to us, so we're gonna platform ourselves and make it so you can ignore us. And then we got platforms slightly more after that. People.
That's what happens.
The reason why they come after Bree like this is because they think she's weak. She's soft-hearted. She's well-spoken and soft-spoken. That they think that they can come at her at any type of way, especially these liberals, black liberals, these Zionists. They try to attack her, but Bree is way stronger than what y'all would fucking. Don't get
into the ones with Bree if you're not prepared.
Man,
don't be Sam Cedar. Sam Cedar was she had him in such a headlock. That boy screamed, "Angry black woman!"
Yeah.
And she would catch you up in your lies. It's like she remind me of auntie. You know what I'm saying? She remind me of the rich auntie. You know what I'm saying? That don't take no shit. When she come around, yes, she's dripped out and draped out. You know what I'm saying? She dripped out and draped out, but she ain't taking no shit from your mama. She ain't taking no shit from her sister. She ain't taking no shit from you. She's gonna tell her how it is, even if the family don't like it. And that's how I see Bree in this family of black radicals. We're not the same. We're never gonna be the same. We're gonna move different, and that's a good thing because I just said it last night. And this is a quote from Pat Poose. So stop saying this is my quote.
Go ahead.
This is a quote from Pat my guy. If we all move and live the same way, we will all die the same way, the same day. So there's beauty in the diversity.
Is that a freestyle? It was probably from freestyle. I probably wasn't even from a damn song knowing that man. Boy, Pat, if y'all don't listen to Pat Poose, if you don't know your rap history, your hip hop history, bro, Pat Poose. He's one of the few rappers that I would argue that was just too damn good at rapping. Yeah. To the point where it's just like in independent media, you have rappers that are actually so good at rapping that the rest of the rap industry will try to blacklist them. Yes. If they don't go viral themselves. Like that actually is a thing. So
what happened with Pat Poose is it's kind of a great black history. We need to talk about
That's
this.
a whole.
Because,
Hey, we're gonna do a show about that, bro. We gotta talk about
thing.
that.
The Weeknd did the same thing. He took $5 million from his label. He said he was going to drop an album called something, but the definition of the word is you can't see it, you can't hear it, you can't something like that. And he never dropped the album. He just took the $5 million and ran.
It was a first, yeah, because they were trying to mess his sound up.
Yeah.
And which is crazy because the sound that got him famous was like everybody knows his verse from Touch It. For those of you who don't know, the Busta Rhymes song, the Touch It remix. That's really whenever the rest of the world outside of Brooklyn and New York learned about Papoose. That's what actually put me on him. I was like, hold on, I know I heard about this cat before, but I did not know he was spitting like that because I was growing up. I was like in middle school, going into high school. So this is the first time I ever heard this dude. And this man's freestyles are crazy, but he's educated as hell. Like he is a thug. He actually at one point was referred to as the IntelliThug. And it was that became my nickname in high school because everybody had known me for listening to Papoose back in the day. Because I just respected his vocabulary as a debater, like as an orator. I respected his vocabulary. I respected how much work he put into his craft. But he got blacklisted, but he was still so good that like till this day, he still be selling out shows. Like it's like Fabulous to some degree, right? Still be selling out shows because like Rome and Nick said, like sometimes you just gotta focus on yourself. I hate to say sound cliche, but like you gotta focus on yourself. If you got it, as I'm a Drake fan, me and Rome go back and forth about Drake and Kendrick all damn day, but I'm a Drake fan. One of my favorite lines that he ever said, it was at the beginning of his career, he said, just take a look at yourself. The mirror is revealing. If you ain't got it, you ain't got it. And the theory is brilliant. In other words, sometimes people get so upset because of what they don't got. There are some people who will never have an analytical ability of Nick, for example, right? And instead of cooperating with him and working with him and embracing his ability in that regard, like they would of somebody who did have that popular.
Uppity ass nigga.
Hey, now Nick worked for that. For the camera, I don't know about before, but I know Nick worked for that. Nick today versus Nick 3 years ago is two different Nicks. It's two different Nicks. But like,
did you see Nick on Facebook post? I'm his friend on Facebook.
No,
holy fuck, that's a different man, boy.
We don't talk about Facebook posts for nobody.
You want to talk about?
We don't bring up people on Facebook posts.
Learning.
But hey, but here what it is. But like Rome, for example, Rome, I always say that like if you was a white boy with all the stuff that you was doing, shit, you would be the Mr. Beast of fucking activist.
Yeah,
but nah, like it's fun. It was not funny actually. It pisses me off. I get regularly upset about it. Me and Nick probably have a 10-minute rant every time we get on camera together because we think about all these cats who get famous because they gave somebody $10 on fucking TikTok just for views.
I saw a nigga build a bench, bro.
Going broke, buying pizza to give to homeless people.
It had no message. It had no message. You know how many likes he got on that fucking TikTok? He had over 10 million likes, bro. Off of that TikTok, he gained over 3 million followers, bro, off of one fucking video. White dude. And
just giving away a little bit of money, like a little bit of money with be nice to people. Yeah, like, but I ain't got that kind of money to be being nice and random to people all the time. And that person probably that you gave the money to probably didn't even need it that much. Like this man Rome is out here. Half the time, the only time y'all hear about Rome, at least if you're on Twitter, the only time you'll hear about him actually doing the activism work sometimes because he just gets so caught up in the fucking work is like, hey, I gotta raise money to get shit done for everybody. So that's the only reason y'all even hear about it. I would probably argue that sometimes Rome is a goddamn bad marketer for himself because he's just so focused on his work. He don't want to, and it's like. And because sometimes as black men and really as activists, we get made to feel guilty if we ask for money, even if it's to do for others, right? Like these other people will shamelessly promote themselves and have not a second thought about it. But for us, it's not second instinct or first instinct to ask, even if we're doing activism work. But like it is telling that somebody like Rome, who is just foundationalized in his activism work and his mutual aid work, does not get the invites of other quote unquote activists, right?
I'm too radical for it's like the people who donate to me anonymously. You know, I have a lot of class traders who donate and they like, please, you know what I'm saying? Don't
shit, for real?
You know what I'm saying? Because it will fuck up their opportunities, their jobs, their sometimes their relationships, their families. If they knew that they were supporting the communists, you know, an open communist. I'm a black Marxist. Like, you know, they love what I do. They just don't love what I say.
Actually, they probably love what you say too. They just don't. They don't love how their family will perceive how you say it.
That
basically.
too. And
really
you know, a lot of people say, "Oh, well, you're kind of too radical for this. You're kind of too radical for that." But I'm not radical. I'm not the radical one. I'm actually moderate when it comes to revolution, because I hadn't heard revolutionaries say wipe them all out. You know what I'm saying, and shit like this. But
yeah, but man, they know if you say you mean
the only reason why I keep going is because
if Rome say wipe somebody out, that nigga dead ass serious. All these people like eat the rich. Rome be out here with the barbecue sauce, the hot sauce. Damn, I thought we was having a barbecue. Why the hell y'all out here, bush? They ready to super chat real quick.
Hang that nigga right now. I got the rope right here.
I got the rope right here. Hey.
But the teachers is what really keep me going, because low key, I have been down. Like, you know, I have been doing so much, man. And my family been going through a lot personally. You know, I just lost. Well, I can't say I lost my baby mama. She in prison, probably for life now. And it's just probably a lot of shit been eating at me. When I look at Nick, I'm like, damn, I gotta keep going. Looking at the teachers of Nick, and I can, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what RBN and all of these black radicals work so well together, because we can bounce ideas off of each other. We can, like, I heard Nick say something in the hot spot one time. What the fuck?
Shit, that's a long list.
And I was like, you know what? Yeah. Fuck yeah, I'm about to go do that shit. What the fuck? So I got my ass up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not always the motivational one. Like, people would think like, oh, I'm sitting here yelling at.
You're not easily self-motivated.
No. Like, them niggas keep me going, bro. Like, the teachers of Nick, the teachers of Sabby. This shit is real, bro.
JB, like, man, getting off the dialysis, going straight on camera. Man. I'm like, bro, how? I be tired of shit some days. I'm like, bro, I can't even get out of my bed to get on camera. And your ass is out here getting off dialysis, doing a 2-hour stream.
And going to go help people after that.
It takes energy out of you. People don't know that shit takes energy, dog. Like,
I be drained, bro, after my streams. Because they take me like, I used to spend like an hour, 2 hours preparing, doing all that stuff. Then by the end of the stream, I'll be exhausted. I want people to have grace for themselves. Like we have all this theory, right? We have all the history of revolution. I think the French Revolution was fucking crazy. I don't know how the hell they pulled that off, to be honest. Like, even when I studied it, the French Revolution was crazy. But with that said, there's never been a struggle like the struggle that we face. You know what I mean? Because the same way we have theory, the ruling class has their theories. They learn from their mistakes. You know how like Henry Kissinger was the mentor from Hillary Clinton. They study what worked. They study what revolutions was successful. And I feel like now the ruling class is more prepared against a revolution than ever before. We are fighting against an empire that is united. We have empires crossing oceans. They call it the NATO alliance. We had the UK, the US, France, all together in it together. The revolution that we have in store for us is unlike any revolution that any humanity ever seen before. So it's exhausting, and we need to have grace for each other, and we need to have each other's back. So when Rome is tired, that's when I pick it up.
Yeah.
Nick
was holding high spot down, boy. When I had my baby, y'all, I took paternal leave because that motherfucker was not trying to sleep, and Nick.
And I was like, I got you, bro. I was like, I got you, bro.
Yeah,
I was like, I got you.
Nick was going hard. That man was going hard. He was posting more, like he was doing more, and I could see it. I was like, damn, bro, I'm kind of ready to get back, man. This man going hard as hell right now. I'm trying to get on some of this, like, because like but that's how it should feel. That's when you also you should be able, because of Nick, I was able to be like, I could. You know, well, I couldn't really take my time because, you know, we got producers and shit.
I'm in good hands, though.
I felt like I could, oh, damn, it ain't really on me. I got to stop putting everything on me. I got a partner. I got a couple of them, you know, that are going to hold it down so I can handle the things I need to handle in my life, so I can come back the best version of Niko I can be for the people. And when Nick got something going on, same thing. Ron got something going on, same thing. Say I got something, like JB got something going on. Like, and it should be like that with really your colleagues if you're doing what we do, but also, your family and friends as well. So I got a question. Well, let me read super chat. Christian 999, what's going on? Thank you for the super chat. I got 5 on it. Damn, 3 titans of truth. That American flag is drenched in our blood. Fannie Lou Hammer, Black Power, y'all got me hyped up. Niko and RBN. Hey, what's good? Appreciate the super chat. Yo, I got a question, y'all. So the other day, that's while I was about to get off of my goddamn live stream, somebody decided they want to send me a super chat and ask me how I felt about black influencers throwing the Palestinian movement under the bus effectively for Kamala Harris. Now there have been people who have challenged me saying like, oh, we gotta stop putting other people's issues first and prioritize, which I'm like, I don't understand. Like, I'm not really prioritizing. I'm just saying like, I'm not okay with genocide at any point, and nobody should ever be okay with that. But I want to know what y'all opinions are, because y'all know how I felt about it. I said, fuck them. I don't really like, I just can't really get down with anybody who supports genocide and justifies it, or at least justifies apathy towards that genocide, because like, oh, it ain't got nothing to do with me because like I'm black, so I know what that looks like.
Yeah, it's a tale as old as time. The Negro capping for the master harder than the master themselves. That's the black liberal Zionists, the people who want to be comfortable in their social circle. Maybe they want to climb the Democratic Party ladder. It's important to remember, though, and this is why I think we're driving it, because all this happened out of nowhere, that K-Hive came from Correct the Record. They repurposed K-Hive into NAFO bots. Now that Kamala is running again, they repurposed the NAFO bots back into K-Hive. And what I noticed during the whole thing was...
you saying like officially, like the bot farms rebranded?
I covered that a long time ago, how they said they was turning Correct the Record bots into K-Hive bots. And it was clear when you see the NAFO bots, like they disappeared the second that the Gaza happened, and they was repurposed into Israeli Zionist bots. Now seeing less of those, and now we're seeing more of the K-Hive. You understand there's a nonstop internet psyop that's going on right now. And the way psyops work, psyops means psychological operations, right? So the point of a psychological operation is to influence how people think. And psychological operations work on the dumbest among us. That's the point of a psychological operation.
And some smart, unfortunately. That's the sad part.
College.
Now, I'm not trying to be mean. Rob, I'll pass to you soon. I'm not trying to be mean, but think about how dumb the average person is. And I realize that there's many people dumber than that. That's why they're the average. So the dumbest among us, the people that are below average, they're the people, they're the Negroes you saw falling for. Yeah, why the fuck I should give a fuck about Palestinians? You got the bots pushing this narrative. You got the black liberals who know exactly what they're doing, pushing this. And then the dumbest among us, the people who are victims of psyops, that's what the purpose of psyop is. They push it too. And that's why I have the same plan that you have, Niko.
I say collecting a check.
I am Zionists and their enablers are enemies. I had Jimmy on the show yesterday. Was it yesterday? No, the day before that.
I think day before.
Yeah, the day before that. And there are things I disagree with Jimmy on. We sparred on the Trump thing. I don't like the way he speaks about Trump nowadays, even though he's not a supporter. I had disagreements with Jimmy. Some people were upset with that, but it's not a red line. I want to talk to people I disagree with. I said very clearly my red line.
Get upset when you have a disagreement with somebody interviewing. Am I supposed to only interview people that I agree with everything?
Yeah, I unapologetically say, like, if you, like, many of the people who get upset at me for talking to people I don't agree with, you can fuck off. You're not gonna tell me how to talk to. Like, there are people that think they're gonna bully me. It's not talking. It's not gonna happen, man. You're not gonna tell. I'm a grown ass man. You're not gonna tell me how to talk to. Period. All the people who tell me not to talk to certain people, fuck off. It's not gonna happen. So the point is, someone left a comment like, "Hey Nick, where are your red lines?" I'm like, yeah, if you support the Republican Democratic Party establishment, if you support Zionism, that's a red line. If you support the ideology, the barbaric ideology of settler colonialism, which is essentially Zionism, there's no breaking bread. We got to draw the hard red lines. For a very long time, the U.S. left, and I'll pass to you, Rome. I know you want to chime in. For a very long time in the U.S. left, they were like, oh, they would like decry like purity test. You will never hear anyone who's not a shit lib use that term unironically. For a long time, they try to normalize not having value. For a long time, they try to normalize, like they will look at you crazy for advocating for human rights. But I say my red line, I will never vote for someone who is a human rights violator. That's a legitimate ask, but you
Yeah.
bring that up to liberals, they look at you like you crazy. But Niko's in Rome.
You're selfish. Hey, you're selfish. I don't have the privilege to be that selfish to not vote for human rights violence. That's what they fucking say.
A lot of people mad. Oh, well, Jimmy Dore supports this and that. Look, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, first of all, Jimmy Dore is a rich white man and he's gonna protect his portfolio, whatever, right? But for him to call out Camilla and say that Trump is to the left of her or some policies, that doesn't say that he's in support of her, because I agree with that. Especially,
that's a fact. That's actually a material fact.
You know,
it makes people uncomfortable acknowledging that shit.
Right.
That's
it's an uncomfortable truth. But as far as the black people saying, you know, all this bullshit, all these commentators, you are your ancestors. There's a reason why Malcolm X is dead. There's a reason why they killed Fred Hampton. There's a reason why they killed all of these revolutionaries and silence their bloodlines. You know what I'm saying? Like, put damn their sanctions on their families to make sure that they will never speak again. You know what I'm saying? So you are your ancestors, and all that cooning that your grandmama did, all that cooning that your grandfather did, you are doing the same on Twitter. You are your cooning ass grandparents. I'm not about to sit here and act like I don't see the tap dancing from these black liberals, right? You're not a fucking liberal. You are a fascist. You sit here and you make excuses for the empire of why we still have slave labor through people that look like us. You make excuses why we have to bomb these people. And then you say, oh, well, my rights are in jeopardy if we don't keep these certain people in. I don't give a fuck about your rights. I think all of your rights should be stripped so you can learn how to fight again. Because your cooning ass, have been all this dumbass bullshit over. We shouldn't care about the Arabs. We shouldn't care about this. We shouldn't care about that. But everybody should care about us. Everybody should care about our plight and our fight, right? That's bullshit, nigga. We move as a collective. And if your cooning ass don't get it, that's just your fucking grandfather talking. That's just your grandmother talking. There's a reason why
you said
the
they was
Black
raised that way.
Panther
Damn, boy. You was raised in a group full of little rockets.
Right. There's a reason why the Black Panthers had a disapproval rating higher than their approval rating. There's a reason why black people didn't like Malcolm X. There's a reason why black people didn't like Malcolm.
True.
There's a reason why they didn't like Fred Hampton, because y'all are fucking coon.
Hey, they didn't like MLK either. Remember, they say he was causing too much drama. They say he was causing too much drama, talking too much. Yeah, because they were getting more attention drawn towards them, and they were being held responsible for the freedom movement. But my thing is, like, yeah, that comes with revolution. Y'all think Haiti freed itself through peaceful negotiations and discourse? You think they talked their way? They talked France back on them boats? Nah. But what I agree 100% with everything you said, because like what's crazy about the stripping rights away so y'all can figure out how to fucking fight again, bro. It's literally that. It's like y'all got so many breadcrumbs that y'all done stacked up over time that y'all, oh man, I'm not really hungry though. So like, do I need to give up all? Do I really need to go and fight for my food? I'm not really that hungry. I don't need a loaf, man. I'm good with these crumbs, right? And that, first of all, that's ridiculous. Like, because Black people in general have worked way too goddamn hard and have been disproportionately affected. Once again, at least in the United States, the only group that can say they've been affected more is the indigenous population. But the only difference I would say between the indigenous population, specifically in Black people, is the inherent projection of fear and terror that they put on us. In other words, not only do we have laws that have been passed to impede our success, but there's been an extra layer that we cannot allow them to be successful because you have to fear them.
Yes.
Because if they get success, they will do this, and this. They sell the lie that we're them.
If Black people get free,
Actually,
they're going to kill all the fucking slave owners. If we free Black people, they're going to kill the slave owners. If we give them rights, they're going to do what we did to them. Look, Black people ain't that petty. I wish they were.
We really not. That's the sad part.
I wish
we
they
should
were.
be.
Trying to chill, man. We just trying to chill, eat some barbecue, man. That's what we left the fucking alone. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. Like I wish Black people were this vindictive, had this type of revenge. I wish. And you know what? They were. At one point in time, we had those people who were thinking about rebellion, liberation. Where are they now? in the fucking grave. And this is why we are stuck with all these cooning ass, sellout ass, good for nothing. Can't stand up for your own community and won't stand up for the next ass fucking niggas.
And then say they can't stand up for the they can't stand up for the next community because they stand up for theirs. And then when it's finally time to stand up for their community, like in a situation like, I don't know, a segregationist becoming president or a fucking prosecutor known for fucking over black people becoming president, y'all like, oh nah, well next time we're gonna stand up for
What about the crime bill? Well, black people wanted the crime bill. No. Black people didn't want the crime bill. The black leaders that the fucking elites put in place agreed with the crime bill. You think a black community gonna be like, yeah, just stop and frisk me?
The Congressional Black Caucus. That's what they literally try to say that because the CBC, boy, that's Coon Central. Okay, because CBC wanted the crime bill when we know it's the CBC's job to just agree with whatever the Democrats want to begin with. Like, what's that? That's supposed to represent the black community? He said, well, John R. Lewis, man, fuck John Lewis. R.I.P. fuck him. Like, my grandma taught me a long time ago, she said, baby, because I was genuinely confused back in the day when I was finding out, like, a lot of these activists, quote unquote, black activists that became powerful, how they were able to maintain that level of popularity for so long. My grandma said, baby, there are a lot of people who even back then knew how to stay in front of the camera and be in front of the camera at the right time all the time. And she said, it ain't much, they have more opportunity now, but back then everybody talked to everybody and everybody knew where to be at, and they know because they use those photos as proof of your activism. Meanwhile, instead of taking a bullet like Malcolm X or Martin Luther King, John Lewis ended up a lifetime congressman. Yep. Screwing over the black community damn near every step of the way while he was there. And he's not the only one. And so, you got Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson. There's there's a bunch of them who she was just explaining. She's like, yeah, there's a lot of people like, she said, and we knew back then, but you got to pick your battles. And we know what the ultimate goal was, and the goal was unity at the time. But yeah, that's how it's the same shit. Because you see that now. Those activists that got famous for being in front of a camera.
I got my ass whooped by the police, bro. I got sprayed in water.
How many
hose,
times?
You know what I'm saying? Countless of times. And I just, I looked at the cops and I said, thank you for your service.
Bro, what?
Bro, that was the moment when I saw that tweet where I was like, fuck this guy.
Hold on, no. You got jumped by cops because you said thank you for your service?
Oh, look at that's what John Lewis said.
That's a John Lewis reference. And that's the moment where I knew to never trust that motherfucker again. If you don't know, Niko, in like around 2014, this motherfucker said, and remember, this was during the time of the Ferguson protest, so you know who he's scolding, right? He's scolding the Ferguson protesters. He said, in my day, unlike these hooligans, that's the implication. Unlike back in my day, I used to get my ass beat by the cops, and then we would turn to him and say, thank for your service. That's something wrong with joking, but that is what John Lewis said. Unironic.
I would have never gotten that because that sounds fucking ridiculous.
That shit burned in my head.
I would have never believed that.
I saw that tweet. I went straight to my camera.
Thank you for your service. Wow. That's some
wild. It's one of the things I saw that tweet and I was like, all right, fuck this guy forever. Here it is. I think I can change. I think I can share this. I
That's great.
I have to show you this. I can tell you didn't know the reference. Look at this. It was
because I would have never guessed that. How would I have guessed that? Bro, this is not even a joke tweet. It's a 2016.
Bro, he sent this out and thought he was dropping a banger.
So this was in the middle. God. So this is Ferguson. Yeah, this was in the middle of Ferguson shit. Damn.
It's 2 years later than I thought, but yeah, I think it's still the same time period.
Either that or during Mizzou.
This is the moment, fam. I was like, fuck him in the Black Congressional Caucus forever. Because I used to have a narrow hatred for Obama. But I'm like, all right, after this, all of them are horrible. Because I later did oppo to John Lewis, and he played a big role stripping congressional approval for military action. He did that so Obama can destroy Libya and Syria without congressional approval. That is what John Lewis did. My friend
worked with Hillary to get it done. Bro, this is crazy.
I'll take it off.
I would not put that shit back.
I hate old niggas like this,
I gotta read that for the audience. Put that back on, please, because I can't believe that. Y'all, if y'all need to go ahead and screenshot that, This is a real tweet.
hype.
He literally said, I was beaten bloody by police officers, but I never hated them. I said, thank you for your service. Bro, this sounds like a satire. It is not satire. He is dead ass serious. I'm looking for some emojis and LOLs. Like, and people liked it. Now, he got ratio like motherfucker. He might still be getting ratios to this day for that shit. But
oh yeah, I used to bring it up all the time. Let me zoom in.
That's so crazy, bro.
One of the worst tweets ever sent. One of the worst tweets that ever sent.
Ever sent. And that was, and we lived through McCain's death, and that was still one of the worst tweets I ever seen. But you know what though? That literally is like it's emblematic of a lot of black people's mentality when it comes to the Democratic Party. It is emblematic. Back in my day, it was Bill Clinton. He used to sell us out. And you know what we did? We took the goddamn job. We said, thank you, sir. And good luck to y'all. Like, good luck to the rest of the black people because, you know, we about to screw y'all over. That's basically what they did. That's literally what they did. I mean, because Bill Clinton he had corrupted the ATF. He had corrupted the DEA. He had removed every judge and U.S. attorney, which is why I'm 100% for federal judges and Supreme Court judges being elected, because Bill Clinton used that fact to pull everybody out who was going to challenge his corruption and only put people in who were going to play ball, basically. And then the 94 crime bill passed. And how many innocent men and women ended up in jail? And how many of them were black? And the CBC was doing what? Supporting the 94 crime bill, even though people say, oh, we couldn't have possibly known, motherfucker, it is in the crime bill. Put more people in prison, get more money. What the fuck more do you need to know? Right. There was no disincentive for falsely putting people in prison. There was no penalty for that. So if you would have told me that there was a harsh penalty for false prosecutions, I might have a different outlook on the crime bill. I might. A little bit, not a lot. But at least I could be like, damn, shit, they did have a mechanism to check that shit. No, they were like, yeah, we're going to give money and more money to cops, more money to keep people in prison, allow people to be shareholders of private prisons, which is insane. Allow people to make money off these private prisons, the labor from the private prisons, and then not have any mechanism whatsoever.
Joe Biden, and I'll let you continue, Nico, but if I remember right, Joe Biden, during the crime bill, introduced the amendment that will later lead to the boom of civil asset forfeiture cases. And Jim Crow Joe was one of the leading voices in advocating for civil asset forfeiture, which is part of the crime bill. So go ahead, Nico. That's one of the
great. Yeah, man, that's just theft.
Never in a million years.
It's wild the words they be using to describe shit like fascism and theft, and like civil asset forfeiture. Like, okay, so what are you gonna do? You gonna give me your shit? Oh, was I guilty of something? Did I steal it? Nah, not really. Did I earn it? Yeah, you bought it. It's all yours. So was I found guilty? Nope. We just think you might be guilty. So how can you? So you're stealing my stuff? No. We're not stealing anything. You're forfeiting it civilly. Okay?
And you want to know the argument that Biden and people use? They say, well, we got still the stuff from the workers because they may use it to engage in illegal activity later. That's the argument they use. So then people was like, all right, what if they're innocent? Well, what if they use the fund to do illegal stuff later? Dead serious, guys. That's literally the argument.
They won't give it. A lot of times they don't give it back.
Yeah, they don't give it back. They say even if they're innocent, they may use it to do illegal shit later. That is legitimately their argument. It's the craziest thing you ever hear. If you take, and I'll pass to you, Rome, but if you take anything that Joe Biden did individually, like that alone is enough to disqualify you, let alone his foreign policy, let alone the bankruptcy bill. Joe Biden used to give the most unhinged, Dr. Evil style villain speeches on the Senate floor. You take any one of those speeches individually, that's enough to be like, never vote for that guy alone.
They scrubbing them hoes too. They be scrubbing
write a fucking Reagan. He should have write a fucking who the fuck is gonna write a Reagan?
Biden was worse than Ronald Reagan, bro. That's the crazy shit about. He's actually worse. He's literally worse. Yes. Let me get to the super chats real quick, y'all.
Go ahead.
Q. Yo, first of all, you really Vietnamese or is that your name? Because that's wild that you named yourself 4Q on YouTube. That's some crazy shit. But you get some bonus points for that one. I might get $5 back. Shit. The ruler class has backup plans, and then they have backup plans for their backup plans. And there's probably even a backup plan for that. I would say there's some truth to that. I think that their backup plans are actually running thin, though. I think if Kamala is your last, if like trying to run a dead Biden through a primary just to get to Kamala because you don't believe you have another candidate that can actually withstand a genuine primary and beat Trump. And like Trump is actually probably performing like just compared to the past, he's like worse rhetorically and strategically than he's ever been. And y'all still scared that y'all can't beat him, even though y'all swear that last election was such a sharp rebuke. Maybe they don't got it. They had backup plans upon backup plans, but I do
Nico,
also
think about how bad it is for Democrats, because I'm gonna say something slightly controversial. This is as good as it's gonna get. Kamala Harris is as good as it's going to get. Because think about the last two candidates they ran: Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden. Who's the new up-and-coming Democrats? It's gonna be Pete Buttigieg next. You guys know that, right? You got Pete Buttigieg is literally next in the queue. Maybe Gavin Newsom. I don't buy it yet. I may be wrong on that, but I don't think they're gonna push him. But it's gonna be Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg. It's gonna get worse from here, guys. It's gonna get worse.
Greg off Rockfin, thank you very much. Gregory Walker, the crime bill gave 30 times for rock powder. What? Gave 30? For crack rock powder. 30 times more jail time. Until Joe Biden's crackhead son, now it's a disease and not a crime. Boy, hey, tell him. Soon as Joe Biden's son starts smoking crack, well, we got to get him into some therapy. But it was all of a sudden he wasn't a super predator, even though he's quite literally a predator. But, you know, it's a different conversation.
We even seen that with the opioid epidemic. Well, they call it an epidemic, right? And they call our shit what?
Because black people can't afford health insurance, so we ain't really be getting, we can't afford to get addicted to shit like that. Hey, look, my mama boy in high school. Hey, let me tell you a funny story real quick before I appreciate super chat. So I did triple jump in high school. I did triple jump and long jump. On my last triple jump, I dislocated my shoulder and tore my rotator cuff. And you know, you do have school insurance, but it's like at the hospital. They asked me, hey, do you want us to call the ambulance? Because my shit was out and it was not going back in. And they're like, so you can take it to the hospital. I said, hold up. Is that covered in the school's health insurance? They were like, no. I said, nope. I'll pop it in. They said, what? No, fuck that. I said, y'all, I'm not about to get my ass whipped by my mama paying $350 for an ambulance ride for a dislocated shoulder. Nope, sir. I'll walk. We can walk. You can drop me off on the way back to school at the hospital, but I'm not about to have no ambulance letter show up to my damn house because we didn't have health insurance. That's bro, when I tell you we weren't allowed to get sick in high schold, we was never allowed to get sick. Or you better pretend like you're not. Super Seamster So-and-Show, $2. Appreciate you for the super chat. Cold Haditha massacre video. Truth, Bakersfield, California. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's just crazy. And they still haven't been arrested. None of the Marines have been held accountable for the Haditha massacre. Y'all go check that out if you have not. I did post it on YouTube. The French Revolution. Aaron W., thank you very much for the super chat. The French Revolution. A lot of people were starving. Struggle radicalizes and change is forced. Threatening death loses its effect when it seems inevitable. Hey, that's real shit. That's really what happens. I mean, I've always felt like Revelations was put in the Bible by the powers that be, not because they were predicting something and they were just like so all-knowing. It is because it is just a set of circumstances that has happened in every single society for thousands and thousands of years, that if all of this happens, if people can't fish anymore because their fish are dying, if they can't farm anymore because their crops are dying or filled with disease, because the environment is trash, if you can't do any of those things and you're still being asked to fight in wars and you're still being asked to pay your taxes and these kings are still getting wealthy, then that is when the revelation happens. The revelation is we got to stop scapegoating each other. It's these motherfuckers who are the problems. That's all Revelations is, but it's when it's being used in the Bible, it's being used as like this fantasy and being used in religion, in my opinion, for people to believe that it's something that it's not. Like they think that it's like a fantasy. Like it's not. Yeah, it might be a version of Jesus coming back, but it ain't gonna necessarily be Jesus. And y'all might miss him when he's here because they missed him when he was there last time, right? Whenever he was out there helping the prostitutes and shit. They was like, yeah, man, you cool and all that, but yeah, I can crucify that motherfucker. Like, and now everybody's like, damn, that dude was kind of good. We should be more like him after the fact. I mean, but that's what happens, right? Fred had the kid at 21 years old. That should have been all over that. Man, we should learn about that in every single history book. I did not learn about that.
America should have burned down that day. And I would like to comment on. I would like to comment on that first super chat. You know, there's a lot of people who don't believe in liberation in America, who don't believe there will be a revolution in America. And I'm sorry if you don't, but the elites definitely do. They are building bunker at the bunker. They are building cop cities. They are preparing for a revolution, not an uprising, not a riot. They are preparing for the masses revolution. So when you see that your police departments have more funding than your schools, have more funding than your education, period, have more funding than
not by a little bit either.
Whatever's around your neighborhood that you need and shit like that. They are preparing for revolution. They know it is coming because you cannot. There's no way a revolution isn't happening in America when 5 families have more money than 300 something million.
There's a reason why they call it a science, my friends. There's a reason why Marxism is a science. And if you listen to Kwame Tore's lecture, who you guys know, I was obsessed with Kwame. I've been listening to him a lot over the last few years. He's the guy I told you guys I unapologetically jacked his swagger. Like when you guys see my speech, I'm imitating what Kwame Tore does because he's the one who I idolize. And he explained this like revolution is a science. You have society that takes more from the proletariat. That's what we're seeing more. They're going to continue to take, and then the pressure is going to build. The pressure is going to continue to build. And as the masses continue to struggle as they continue to insulate themselves among their classes, because when you have extreme inequality, when you have capitalism run amok, any system run amok, you're going to have classes. The classes will start to solidify themselves. The pressure will continue to build. The government will continue to take more, and that will, and this is shown through history, inevitably lead to struggle. At that point, the society had 2 choices. You either go to fascism and you regress, or you progress. This happened many times in human history. Where the pressure grows, but then the populace, for whatever reason, squander it, and the only thing that happens is shift farther to the right. Or you could lead to a socialist revolution. This is what Marx advocate for. The choices on the masses is clear. Shift to fascism and give power to more of the elites, or shift to a socialist revolution. It's a science that literally cannot be denied. It cannot be denied. It's going to happen. We got to put it in our hands. Capitalist realism. This last thing I think. I know you want to get to the story, Niko. Capitalist realism is a ridiculous ideology. It's the ideology that capitalism will never go away, ever. Name me one system that ever existed that still exists to this day. Systems, the only thing that's predictable in human history, as someone who studies history, the only thing that's predictable is that systems will fail. When you study the history of Chinese culture is one dynasty, one system failing after another. Feudalism failed. After feudalism failed, capitalism took over. So now the question that Marx proposed, and this is the question that's still up in the air, is what replaces capitalism? It's possible that capitalism could be replaced by another authoritarian fascism if the people allow it. That's where me and Rome and Niko come through. This is where we come through. The revolutionaries make sure when
that shit will end up still being capitalism then at that point. I mean, we are technically capitalism, inherent in capitalism is authoritarian fascism. It's using military power, well, hard and soft power to crush competition, right? And then running the negotiations in any type of economic cooperation through a few nations, and usually really a group of people. It ain't even the nations that are making the decisions. So like, we don't have, it's either the system crashes and we regress so far back that there is no, we going straight back to the barter system. Like that's really what it could be. Or we take the waste of capitalism and move closer towards socialism and communism and make sure that the power, of course, is still in the hands of the proletariat and the labor force. Like that's, I mean, which I imagine is probably going to happen.
Niko, you can continue, but can you read that comment from Cobra Commander? I usually don't make these suggestions, but can you read that one, please?
Which one?
It just came in.
I see. JB's in the comment section.
Yep. JB and I.
There's a one that he just posted at 1:09 p.m. Can you read that
1:09? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
It's super new.
1:09 y'all time. Shit, go. Hold on. Y'all know I'm in Brazil.
2:09 my time.
I'll read it just in case you can't find it because I know how it is. There it is. There you found it.
JB doesn't get enough respect for all he does. If you don't follow JB from RBN, click this link. Yeah, go do that.
Yeah, and I know you watch JB. The only regret for my speech, man, and it bothers me. I told Rome about this. I gave James Fonteroy, JB, a shout out in the speech, But I did it after I shot out Sabby. Like, watch my speech again. I said, big shot, we need fighters like Rome. We need fighters like Sabby. And I said, we need fighters like James Fauntleroy. But after I said Sabby, the crowd erupts and cheers. And in the audio, you can't hear the James Fauntleroy shout out. Even the subtitles didn't pick it up. I'm like, fuck. So I always got to make sure I mention that. James, I did give you a shout out. I didn't forget you. James,
love them some Sabby, goddamn. I love to see it. Let me go ahead. Oh, hold on. Let me make sure I got all the super chats. I think I got all. Yeah. Let's go ahead and check out this video by K. Shout out to K-Study QB. He's actually going to be on the show on Tuesday. But he caught this clip, doing the hard work that I really don't be trying to do, which is sift through these goddamn mainstream media posts. But, like Nick said, but we got to debunk the propaganda. It's part of the education process. Not every teacher likes every lesson they're given that day, but you still got to learn it. This is really going to make, whenever Rome was talking about this, like, you get it from your granddaddy, boy, he talking about Charlemagne the God. On God he is.
Bring you in. Those battleground polls also show Donald Trump pulling in 19% support from black voters. That is actually triple what he got in 2020. What do you make of that? What is he doing right to win them over?
I want to make this clear. This is in Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, and Nevada. All that other shit that y'all be reading, I mean, polls are like just faulty on their face anyway. But like the things that have her close, the polls that have her close, like 51, 50, 51, 50. Nah, that shit don't matter because the math ain't really working in her favor. And she needs, when Biden won these states, he almost stole them to some degree because no one was expecting the Democrats to win. And he probably did steal them, knowing what we know. So that's the significance of these states and the black voters going to Trump after the Democratic National Convention. So let's go ahead and talk about that. But we're gonna let him finish, and because I want to hear y'all response to what Charlemagne said.
I don't make anything of these polls that are talking to imaginary black folks. I would love to know, for one, who they're talking to because I've not seen.
So you think that they don't exist?
I think that they are, maybe, you know what, they might be the invisible man that Ralph Ellison talked about in his book. I don't know who these people are. There was a Trump ad that was released, I believe today, that's targeting black women voters. And there are these people who, allegedly exist all throughout the country, and they're reading scripts. You can see their eye line going over here. And I think some of them.
What did you say, Ro?
You see their data point. And I was in South Carolina. I'll be quick. I'll let the video continue.
No, go ahead.
When I was in South Carolina, when I was working on the Bernie campaign, going door to door in the black community, because that was my job, you will be shocked. I was shocked. You know what I mean? I'm going through my life experiences, learning more about people's political ideas. I was shocked the amount of black people that said they support Republicans when I was in South Carolina.
Oh, yeah. I was
doing door to door. So you got to see what she said. She's like, where are these black people who support Republicans? I have an uncle I've been voting like a motherfucker talking about politics with who was a Trump supporter. You guys really believe these people had the life experience to tell you what the hell is going on? The idea that you like, I'm black, I can see any Trump supporters. Bullshit. Anyway, go, you can go.
You a PMC black. You're not actually talking to workers. You're not actually talking to people in these communities or of these communities. Like, and why is it these skin bleaching ass niggas always speaking for us? Like, I don't fucking get it, bro. Y'all could have called Nick on if you wanted to fucking.
They're imaginary. They don't exist. That's what she said.
What? Do you? All right, I'm gonna let this go and then I'm gonna explain.
Hey, damn, Nick, he better than us. But we would have talked for a whole goddamn hour. Now you
might be paid to say some of these things. I'm not sure, but here's what I do know, Pam. You talked about this not being the case, Georgia not being the case for Joe Biden. Joe Biden did actually win Georgia in 2020. And I also want to give some credit to Kamala Harris, who has been to Georgia 7 times this year, right? And so I think it's important for us to acknowledge the work that has been done. Their state directors talked about 35,000 new volunteers on the ground since Kamala Harris.
Hold on real quick. So she's acknowledging that the more black people have seen Kamala in places like Georgia, that they're actually, it's a inverse effect. Like they're literally running away the more they see her. Because that's the only thing I could take away from that. She's like, she's been there. She's been there. Give her some credit. She's been there 7 times. And and now the black people are leaving en masse. So maybe she should stop going. But this is like what we've been saying. That's why they keep hiding her, right?
Harris announced they have well over 24 offices in that state. They're doing the work. And so what you do see with polls And what you do hear from folks who are registered voters is that the tide is changing, that they're excited about the change and the excitement that Kamala Harris brought to the top of the ticket. And I think we really got to give more credit to the work. I'm not giving any credit to these polls. Polls end up being wrong all the time. And I've seen polls that say 15%, 19%, 18% of Black folks. I don't believe it at all.
So ironically, she's like, this change, this random change in policies, like it's as invisible as the Black people she's saying don't exist, because we still waiting. Has she updated her website, y'all? Do y'all know? Has she updated her website?
No.
I don't.
You
I
want to know why Black people is supporting Trump? Money, opportunities during the pandemic. Yes, that's one of the reasons. Another reason is a lot of our families are victims to the crime bill. Trump wrote a bill and put it into law where a lot of Black people were released that were victims of the crime bill. I see a lot of my OGs that got locked up in the 90s and the early 2000s. A lot of my OGs are out. They had life sentences. They have lifetime sentence, 25 to life, 35 to life, 50 to life. They are out, and they are talking to their families. They are telling these, like, they are educated now, and they know why they went to prison for the time that they didn't deserve. Trump let a lot of Black people out of prison. They are educating their families on who put them there. That's another reason. Another reason is y'all fucked up the Black community so bad. We can't even fucking sleep. You know what I'm saying? We can't even get a leg up. The people are poor. Our groceries are fucking sky high. The rent is sky high. Did y'all put a cap on the rent? No. Is there
they talked about that too, didn't they?
Rich people holding all these houses from us? No. Our neighborhood is still being gentrified. Yes. There's a reason why people are supporting Trump. I get it. The anger is misplaced. That's because we don't have proper education. Because all you do is pull people to. All you can do is teach people to the right of this, to the right of that.
Make people hate Trump and don't educate them all.
So that's why they are supporting Trump, because they see no other option. They look at Trump as the lesser evil, which he is.
That's why it's hilarious to watch these shows, because it shows how privileged their background is, their class interests. When she said, I can't, like, she literally can't believe it, and I almost believe her. Like, you know how they like, I almost believe her, because she's definitely insulated. And this is one theory: she definitely insulated among liberals. Well, she couldn't even possibly believe the fact that Black people could support anyone other than Kamala. Meanwhile, I have the exact opposite point of view, where my family's apolitical. My brother, like Rome, you know, my brother don't know shit about politics, but he listens to the news. He's like, bro, these people are full of it. So whenever I saw like the numbers, like I believe the Obama numbers, but whenever I saw like the Hillary Clinton, 80%, 90% Black support, those are the numbers that shocked me. Like, yeah, 90% of Black people vote for Democrats.
Your shock was well deserved, because clearly she didn't get that. She didn't get the numbers that she thought she was gonna get. So.
Yeah, but go ahead, Niko. Let's continue the video.
I agree with both of y'all, and I almost had it going on one of my apolitical family. They just kind of like, you know, hey Niko, who's a dumbass to not vote for her? Like, I let them know. But like, it's really the family that I have that actually thinks that they're political. They think that they know what's going on. Yeah. That really be the most problematic and be ready to argue with me. I almost had to spark off on one of my great uncles, because he said some shit on Instagram, and I didn't see that he was my dad's uncle at first. And I was about to be like, who the boy? Because it's and what's crazy, it's one of my uncles from California, from San Francisco, from the side of my goddamn family, who was the one who told me about Kamala. But he's bourgeoisie, right? And so his whole mentality, my reality is my grandpa didn't really talk to this side of the family that much. And I learned after my grandpa passed away, why? Because my grandpa's cut from a different cloth. These people are all about wanting to be part of the liberal bourgeoisie class, a Berkeley class in the Bay Area, if you will. And like, they get mad at you for exposing it. And the only rebuttal that they have when I do have argument is, oh, so Trump is better. I said, well, no, that wasn't even the argument we're having. Well, no, but you're trying. Those are
fuck yeah, nigga. Fuck you, nigga. Fuck these niggas talking about. Oh, so you're gonna vote for Trump? Oh, so you think Trump is better? Yes, the fuck I do, and yes, the fuck. What the fuck you gonna do about it? What is your voter outreach? What are you gonna say to me to not vote for Trump? You know, like I get tired of the backhanded bullshit.
Exactly.
Hell, fuck this.
You know,
I'm gonna vote for Trump.
I am gonna vote for that motherfucker. What you gonna say to convince me otherwise?
That's funny as hell.
That's true.
What you gonna do?
Because
they have no plan. All they have is shaming because they know their party is just as bad, if not worse. Like Nick always says, Democrats are the most effective evil, and they are, because look at Obama. They always want to do this shit when they are ready to commit atrocities upon the world. They always put a black face in a black hand. Oh, we got black people raising their hands to, you know what I'm saying, not put regulations on Israel. Obama took us from 2 wars to 7 wars. It's always a black face. It's always a black face, and they getting ready to do some horrendous shit if Kamala get in office. And blame that shit on a black face.
Yep.
Now, and this is that point I'm making, and we can continue because I have Dr. Jill Stein and Butch Ware join us tomorrow on RBN. I vibe a lot with Dr. Stein. The only criticism I have of her is the response she had to being a spoiler, where she's like, I'm not really a spoiler. You should be embracing that. Hopefully I'll have time to bring this up. Like, I think this is one thing that Jill Stein needs to improve on. I like Jill Stein. I think she needs to, like, whenever she asks about Trump winning, she needs to make a pitch for Trump voters. She said, oh, well, we're not going to hurt Trump. We're not going to hurt Kamala. You need to be saying, my plan is to draw voters from both of them. If you're a Trump supporter, you need to vote for me. If you're a Kamala supporter, anyway, I'm gonna explain this more tomorrow. But that's to Rome's point. We need to stop even buying the argument. But go ahead, Nico.
I like that though. I like that argument. I'm ready for that interview.
I really don't.
So I want to follow up with what you had said about, who are these voters? As I said, the 19% of black voters supporting Trump. Our CNN's Ali Reeve actually recently spoke to a black voter in Virginia who owns a shop that sells pro-Trump merchandise. Here's what she said about his outreach to black voters, and I'll get your reaction on the other end.
I think their efforts are succeeding tremendously. All the things that have happened to President Trump, the attacks on him, have done nothing more than strengthen black people's connection to him, because now he's someone who is the target of a struggle, and they have always felt that they've been a target.
All right, Charlotte.
First of all, that was very well articulated. Y'all don't have to agree with her voter choice, but the way that a lot of black people have been wanting to say that because they speak in the lingo that they speak in, so maybe people don't really get it or they don't respect it. But she was very clear. She was like, these people feel like they've always been a target of this very same government. They can't put a face on the government, but they do know how it feels and what it looks like, right? And nobody feels like they're an angel. So if just because they disagree with something that Trump does morally, doesn't mean that they're going to completely disregard the way that they're seeing him being treated if they view it's unfair. So that was very well articulated. Let me finish this up.
Charlamagne, what do you think about that?
I think that I can't speak for all black people because we're not monolithic, and that woman cannot speak for all black people because we're not monolithic. And I think she sounds like to be totally honest, I think she sounds like a damn fool, but that's her opinion. And I do feel like, Democrats do owe black people a lot, but last.
Please, bro.
I told you.
Ain't this the same nigga that sat there while Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black? What the fuck did he say?
I think
that motherfucker looked at the camera and said, okay, master, and you still support this motherfucker. Shut your bald head, bleach skinned ass up. I can't stand these fucking coon ass niggas with these platforms. And I'm not speaking for fucking all black people because we're not a monolith, but I'm gonna speak for all black people like we're a monolith. Man, get the fuck out of here, bro. You guys said nothing. Like you are supporting the fucking writer of not only 1 but 2 crime bills. You know what I'm saying? You are supporting the guy who was loudly and proudly to the right of Ronald Reagan. You can't speak for all black people. I can't speak for all black people. That woman can't speak for all black people. So why the fuck are you speaking for black people in the first place? And this woman gonna sit here and say, oh, I don't believe they exist. They exist. They are real. There are more black people voting for Trump than you can ever believe. You know why I don't post all these interviews that I do with people on the streets? It's because most of these people in Detroit that I interview nowadays, they said they voting for Trump. They live better under Trump. Life was better under Trump. Life was less expensive under Trump. The insurance wasn't as high as Trump under Trump. Nigga, they are voting for Trump.
That's verifiable.
And best believe these numbers are real. And the only reason why Trump have these numbers is because of cloning ass niggas like Charlamagne the God and Angela Lee. They don't give them a real platform to go to. They don't look like, okay, Trump and Biden is bad. Here's a third option at least. They don't even say independent. They don't even look left. So you are the reason why we have black Trump supporters. Because you refuse to teach your goddamn audience, and when they get pissed off at the left, at the Democrats, they're gonna look right every fucking time, and it never fails.
Can I just say, you notice that he never, nor did Angela ever try to ask, why would she feel that way? Why did she feel that way? Like, she sounded like a damn fool. Like Rome said, bro, like, you should be sitting this one the fuck out. You literally sat there as a segregationist, told you you're not black if you don't vote for him. So you should sit this one out, okay? But beyond that, they had zero, and that's how I know, like, y'all not here for us. Because if I got like one of my black friends or one of like somebody I meet out when I'm at a bar or something like that, and they say they support Trump, I don't attack them. I actually don't attack them even if they say they support Kamala. I don't attack them at all. I just ask them why. Because I genuinely want to know why you believe this person best serves your interests or the interests of the community. Because otherwise, I can't educate you, one, if you are wrong and your perception is off, but two, because I genuinely care, because you have some concern that you feel is not being met by one candidate or the other or a group of people, and you feel like that need can be met by this individual. So let's figure out what that is, and let's figure out how to best go about getting to a resolution in that regard, instead of being like, you're a fucking fool. How could you think that person is the one to help you? Because that's what bro, that is the most elitist bullshit. And also, let me just say, can I just say, I don't know what it is, and maybe y'all can help me out here, but whenever I see liberals posting like, oh, you're gonna vote for a felon, I don't know why that shit irks me so much, because I feel like I'm being personally attacked, but I know it's not. But I'm not a felon technically speaking. So like, I've been to jail and I've been wronged by the criminal justice system, and I have family members who have been wronged. Right? I think everybody knows, either through the news or even personally, somebody who was a felon because of what they had to take as far as a plea deal is concerned. And like whenever you say something like that, it's like you're trying to give an indictment of their character, saying that they don't have the capabilities or that they're not worthy enough for society.
It's worship of institutions, and that's why I think it's preaching to us. One thing I would say regarding this club, like we about to be in September of 2024, and I still don't know who the fuck this guy is. Charlamagne the God.
Charlamagne the God.
Who the fuck is that? Like, he came out of nowhere, and I've been asking people this, and no one can give me a coherent answer. I say, who the fuck is Charlamagne the God? They say, well, he's the host of the Breakfast Club. What the fuck is that? What the fuck does that do with anything? What was it? What did he do before that?
He was on a show about like basically it was like a MTV show.
MTV. So he came from MTV. You guys see the point I'm making? Whenever you got white people talking about white people issues, do they bring on the Miz from MTV? Or they bring on white reality TV stars? That's why I asked the question. Who the fuck is this guy? He's the host of the Breakfast Club. What the fuck is that?
This is Wendy Williams. This is Wendy Williams.
Whenever they have white people talking about white people issues, are they bringing reality TV stars? No. Whenever they got black people issues, they bring on some fucking rapper I've never heard of.
That's true.
Work on stage. Why the fuck are we listening to Charlamagne the God? And that's why I'm skeptical of him and people who plaster him everywhere. And then say that Malcolm X said, why the fuck we got these celebrities talking for us? There ain't no community organizers. They're not the young lords. They're not friends of Junior.
That's because
no
him and Kamala and Biden didn't work for the same talent agency. That's why.
Yes.
I'm not joking. They really do.
What they
Yeah,
that's the overall plan I was
who gives a
making.
fuck
Go ahead,
about what
bro.
Ja Rule has to say at this time? Like who gives a fuck what Ja Rule has to say at this time?
Imagine they had like Lucy Liu. Like we're gonna talk. We don't have to bring Lucy Liu. What do you think about the China situation, Lou? They never do that. Like, it's racist we saying that. You know what I mean? But then, you guys see how absurd it is when they do it for us. We're gonna talk about any black interest, so we're gonna bring on a random black celebrity.
No, they also bring on Van Jones, Nick. They also bring on Van Jones, who literally said, "I don't know nothing about politics." He said, "I don't know nothing about politics. I love that man."
Gonna cry.
We don't bring George Lopez to talk about the border. You guys know how high key this shit is racist this is? Like this guy has no qualifications to be talking about politics, but you see him everywhere. And that's the point I'm making. It's annoying, and it's insane that no one else sees it. You know what I mean? It's insane no one else see how crazy it is that this guy is everywhere, and he shouldn't be. Like we had Dr. CBS. She going on the Sabby and JB show. She's an intellectual, an academic, and she's based as hell. She's knowledgeable about revolution history. One of the best guests we had on RBN. I interviewed her on Nick at Noon not too long ago. Why is she being invited? You guys see I'm making a funny point, but you guys see the point I'm making? It's always these brain dead celebrities I'm supposed to know for some reason. I don't know who he is. I never looked into it because it's not in my fucking interest to know who this guy is. But they constantly push these people down our throat, and it drives me crazy. But go ahead, Ron.
Nah, that's 100% fact, though. That's it. It's so annoying too, because what'd be crazy is, from our perspective, guys, y'all gotta remember a lot of these journalists that y'all see on TV, like they like follow us, or they're in our like follower circle. In other words, they see us, they respond to us, or tweet somebody else tweet, like they know we exist. And so, but we're watching them platform like basically like Nick said, like y'all be having George Lopez up and talk about the border. That is the equivalent of having Charlemagne and God on to talk about black issues. That's not hyperbole. That's literally the case. That's fucking ridiculous. What? And the fact that he put it like
we don't bring on Jackie Chan.
Like,
we want to discuss the issue in Taiwan, so we'll bring Jackie Chan on.
I was already mad about it, but when you said George Lopez and the border, I'm like, that's the realest. It's worse than what I was mad about before, actually. Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it. Because it's insulting when you got Margaret Kimberly's out there. It's insulting when you got Garland Nixon's out there. Hell, even they finally started to bring on Nita, only basically to say whatever the hell, it's Democratic establishment time, so they got to bring on a progressive to have her go on there and say, vote for whatever white supremacists for the Democratic Party this year. It's like, but even, she has some good stuff to say, but they won't bring on like Bree, everybody at CNN and MSNBC, but no Bree. Everybody. Because they literally attacked her for not endorsing Bernie back in the day. Yep. Right? They all know who she is. Refuse to bring her on. They
literally
know who Sabby is.
From Black Alliance for Peace. Literally, they have a whole squad that they never call up. You know what I mean?
But we gonna call Van Jones. We call Van Jones. We're not racist. Like, you can't. You tell me you want the black vote, and then when you hear a black voter is voting for Trump, you ignored them. You don't want their vote then. What the fuck is you talking about? Stop pretending like you want their. It's like, because my thing is why we argue. It's like Rome said, unless you're here to convince me to vote for Kamala, why are you conversing with me? Are you trying to make a judgment call on my character? Like I give a damn? Yeah. Or are you trying to justify to yourself? You're really arguing with yourself, and I just happen to be the person that you're talking to because you're trying to rationalize how you can vote for a genocidal maniac who puts on blackface to screw over black people. Is that why? Because you can't quote her policies? Matter of fact, we gonna check out that damn video. Because boy, that video about the policies, and I don't know if y'all have seen it yet. I think Nick covered it, right? You covered it too. Where somebody was going around the DNC asking what are her favorite, or what are their favorite policies about Kamala, and Lord baby Jesus, I don't ever want to hear a motherfucking liberal call anybody a Trump tard, quote unquote, ever again, because y'all got some problems in y'all movement with reading comprehension. Y'all just don't give a shit. I don't want to hear nothing about cults of personality, none of that. After you watch this video,
oh my God,
it's insufferable.
What is Harris's biggest accomplishment to date as vice president?
I don't know. I don't feel comfortable doing this anymore.
She's
She's
Vice president.
she was a very good vice president.
That's an interesting question. Getting to vice president.
I have to do more research on her, honestly. I'm just glad to see a woman of color in charge for once. That's it.
She was honest.
I haven't followed her political career that closely.
That's a good one. I don't know.
I don't want to
That, bro, that's a good one. Oh my God, that's a good one.
That one got stumped,
bro.
Like if you want to, Nico, if you want to ask me about the history of like Colombian politics or something like that, I'm like, damn, you got me, bro. I'm not, and I'm admittedly weak on Southeast Asia. I'm trying to brush that up. You know, brush up my knowledge on Southeast Asia. Yeah. You was stumped on that. They got stumped on what your favorite policy.
Nah, how you gonna be stumped? Because the context of this is at the DNC, y'all. These are people who actually paid to be at the Democratic National Convention. Yes, these are people who that's why they've already decided they're voting for Kamala. They already know that they're voting for a Democrat. And it literally, the wife tried to come in and say, hey, she was VP. No, she was selected for that position. Yeah. So next.
And Nico, she said I gotta do some more research on Kamala Harris. So she did research on what hotel to get first. She did research on what flight to take to Chicago. Before she did research on why she flying to Chicago.
Brought plane tickets. She did a whole itinerary and didn't think while she was making. Maybe I should figure out if I even like the candidate that I'm literally spending all this goddamn money and doing all this.
They get mad when we say blue MAGA, but literally, who was that motherfucker with that show at the time? They used to send people out to the MAGA conventions, and they'd be like, "Why you voting for Donald Trump? What's your favorite policy?"
John Stewart used to send out old boy, black dude with the crazy hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
That used to be hilarious.
It's the same shit. They get mad when we call them blue MAGA. You are literally blue MAGA. You are in the call. If you don't know why you are there, if you don't know why you support these people, it's like, bro, you are in the
it literally took me longer to find a hotel than it would for me to look up Oppo on a politician. Like I looked up Tim Walz in 1 second, immediately found some Zionism, found some union busting, and it took me 5 minutes to do that. It takes forever to book a hotel. It takes forever to book a flight. These motherfuckers did that before they look into policy. What does that say?
I'm just happy as a person of color. And see, this is why we would never get anywhere in America. I'm telling you guys, like the revolution is going to have to come from the outside to the inside. Like the revolution is going to happen on the outside, and then we're going to have to deal with the final blow because we're not going to get anything from these fucking Americans. I'm telling you, bro, this is fucking insane to just. Oh yeah.
You know what's scary? You know how many of those people probably. You know that a lot of those people, y'all got to remember. So because it's a lot of the people who went to the convention are delegates. Right? They went through a whole process prior to actually even like knowing that Kamala was going to be the nominee. You gotta remember that. That's the crazy shit. A lot of these people had already made the decision they were going to be delegates, right? And because it's not just about, for them, it's not just about the convention. It actually affects stuff in some states in their own communities as well. It affects like their involvement with the Congress. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Anyway, so now because they are aware, right, that they are Democrat at the Democratic National Convention. Shit, I did not expect Kamala to be the president. I did not even vote for her last time. I was not expecting her to be nominated. But they're asking me, and I'm in front of a bunch of people, and I really haven't made my decision because I wasn't even sure. Because remember, there was consensus that there was no consensus on Kamala for a very long time, basically until days before the convention. Right?
I'm pretty sure there was a lot of arm ringing and a lot of threats behind the scenes to make that happen. But go ahead, Nico.
Yeah.
I have no evidence for that, but I apologize.
It was when Obama finally gave the green light, maybe 2 days or 3 days before the convention, that it was like, okay, I guess she's gonna be. But that don't mean that everybody made their decision on whether or not they liked her or not, right? To be completely honest. So it's like you got a lot of people who are just responding, like, yeah, I'm gonna vote for her. Okay, for why? Oh shit, this is one of those interviews. Damn, I'm just saying that because all my friends are around. I can't say that I'm not gonna vote for her because now I'm gonna have beef. Somebody gonna try to take my seat. Somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was saying the other day, there's a whole social impact to that liberals put out, like that is included with liberal cultism that nobody really discusses. That's why they were so off the mark when it came to predicting Trump and Hillary the first time, because of how many liberals became Trump supporters. And they just were like, yeah, but I'm not gonna tell your ass because y'all gonna talk shit.
Another thing that was striking about that video, which I think is important to bring up, This is why I mentioned when I cover a similar video on RBN. Ever since I started as a citizen journalist, like last 3 years or so, I've been mentioning how the United States is the most propagandized country in the world. What do you guys think is the long-term consequences of that? Because whenever people see that video, they're shocked. I'm not. What do you guys think is the long-term consequences of people ingesting MSNBC, CNN, New York Times, Washington Post? Rome, Niko, you've been on RBN enough. How many times have I shown like a Morning Joe segment, and then I see people in the comments, we just laughing. Think about, dude, they almost get mad at me like, Nick, why are you even showing us? Why are you even showing us this? No one will believe in this. Yes, they do, fam.
They do.
What do you guys think that looks like in person? It looks exactly like this. The kind of people who can't even name policies that they support. Americans are so propagandized. I saw a video out of Russia where Russians was explaining why they support the special military operation. They was explaining the history of being invaded between Russia. Even in Europe, they was explaining. They can be able to placidly explain why they're liberal, whatever. They can explain why they don't support immigration. It's different in America. Americans, like when I hear them talk about politics, it's so different versus foreign.
And it's also important. Like there's important like doing. I know it really does suck for us. I mean, sometimes it's funny, but then it's like the redundancy for y'all, maybe the ones who are really watching us every day, and the redundancy for us might suck. But there are actually always new eyes that are watching some of this debunking for the very first time because they accidentally ended up here from TYT or accidentally ended up here from Sam Cedar, and they just heard this perspective for the first time, and now you had to see. I mean, this happened to me. Like part of my audience the reason it got so big was because people were accidentally falling into my damn channel. They're like, oh shit, I didn't know any of this stuff about Eastern Europe. Like I had a discussion the other day with one of my friends about Russia because they're pretty good. I mean, they're not really political like that, but like he's pretty anti-imperialist, but he was under the impression that Russia is an imperialist nation. I say, no, they're not imperialists. What are you talking about? I was like, are you talking about like pre-World War I maybe? Russia? I'm like, I mean, because that Russia isn't more imperialist than the next at the time. But if you're talking about USSR Russia, I said that's probably the least imperialist superpower that we've ever seen. Like, I'm like, they've actually regressed since the USSR. They have less. And they're like, well, I was like, they've never invaded Africa or the Middle East or Central South America. You know that? They're like, nah, they've been invaded. I said, no. What is one? I was like, because I can name you a couple of countries that speak Portuguese because of Portuguese Empire. Obviously a lot that speak French. A lot, you got South Africa. Like, there are a lot of countries that speak a lot of different languages in Africa and Central South America and other places. None of them speak Russian.
Look at the slave trade. That shit didn't go through Russia. You see the map of the slave trade. You see the Atlantic is on fire. You see Portugal, Spain, Portugal, Africa, America, Africa, Brazil. You see all these arrows. You're not gonna see a goddamn arrow going to and from Russia. Go ahead, look it up. There is some significance to that because like being an empire at one point was just like a way of the world. Like that, just like there was the Ottoman Empire, there's the Prussian Empire, there was the Persian Empire at one point, the Roman Empire. That was just how things were. Like you had to take over your enemy, or your enemy was probably gonna take you over. Like depending on what the alliances were. So I don't really put a lot of stock into the empire itself. I look at how the empires ran, which is like why I don't really like people who propagandize about the threat or the fear of the Persian Empire, or Iran rather in this case. Like, oh, Iran will just want to come and spread their ideology all over. That's actually not the case. If you knew about the Persian Empire, the reason that they lasted so long, they're one of the longest lasting empires ever, if not the longest lasting, is because they just let people live. They were like, yeah, man, we just wanted to make sure everybody was good. That's why we came over here. That's basically what happened. And they let you live your life. And their empire stretched into Africa, right? Yeah. Deep into Africa and parts of Europe. And they just let you live your life. So there are levels to this shit. But you want to keep it in the context of 100 years. Russia is less imperialistic than China is, and I wouldn't even consider China a militarily imperialistic country. So like, but that might be like the only close comp. Every other superpower is like fucking close. They going to Africa, they're going to Central South America, they're in Haiti right now, right? They're in all the global South. And the only thing Russia does is they come when they get invited by the party that needs to be protected. That's it. And they didn't know that. And you would think like, damn, I'm saying this shit all day, every day. And I say it again, yeah, we do. Because there's how many billions of people in the United States? And how many of them don't even put in the effort
to change the channel whenever fake news comes on. So you know how much effort they would have to put in to go find the real news, given all the censorship and algorithm corruption that we see. And then so when they finally get here, yep, I gotta say the same shit today that I said yesterday. And it sucks, but it is the work that gotta be done.
Yeah, that's right.
What'd you have to say, Ron?
Oh no, I'm just agreeing with you. Shit, you preaching.
Oh, right. But I don't. Oh, really quick. We're gonna go to this. We gotta talk about this Palestine situation that's happening right now too. It's really important. But just to close out this subject, I can't rock with anybody who, at least talking for the black community right now. I can't rock with anybody who's vote shaming somebody for vote, because when black people are actually kind of simplistic to some degree, where we are very much so what the fuck is in front of us, deal with that problem first. Like my mom was, one thing at a time, Niko. One thing at a time, Niko. Just deal with what's in front of you, Niko. That's just the world that we live in. Because if you try to think too far ahead, you get too much anxiety. And I'm pretty sure every one of us can tell you about that. That shit will crush you. And whenever black people think about what happened, in their case, or in the case of the election 4 years ago, or 3.5 years ago, where they were at, or 2 years ago, where they were at, and they looking at their accounts, and they looking at their accounts now. They're looking at what their mortgage was before. They're looking at where their mortgage is now. They're looking at what gas was before. Oh boy, don't get me started on the goddamn light bill. Boy, we pay attention to light bill more than anything else, because the light bill will tell you everything about the world that you need to know. Like, right? And it tell you about what about the world and about your kids, how they're using your goddamn lights and keeping shit on. Like, it'll tell you everything you need to know about the world. And they look at it then and now. And they made the decision, I don't know about all that extra shit, but I'm voting for Trump because I want whatever that was before, because this ain't slowing down. And they're telling me that this isn't happening. They're telling me that my groceries are actually just as cheap as they were. They're telling me that jobs are more available than they were. They're telling me that I'm crazy, basically, and I'm not experiencing this. And so when those black people are like, I want something else, and I got no respect for somebody who will then try to insult them, question their moral character because you don't want to ask them why. Right. Because you don't believe their grievances are genuine or justified, because you want to fucking ride. They want to be able to tweet the next day that Kamala won. That's it. They want, oh man, I get to say, this is where I was at whenever the first black woman kind of somewhat, depending on who you ask, president, one, like, bro, that's really what it is. That's really what it is. I got no respect for that type of shit, bro. I really don't. Now, did y'all hear about
I believe the only vote shaming that black people should be doing is if you are voting inside a duopoly. The only vote shaming we should be doing is you voting Democrat. Like, you still voting Democrat and Republican. What the fuck is wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's more than candidates. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I think the Democratic Party know what they are doing, and they know Kamala Harris is going to lose. They know, like, not only did she not.
All right, go ahead, spit some.
She did not only get 0 delegates in her own state has, rejected her. But the world is going to let's be honest. America is a racist country. White women is about 60%, 62% of the voting block in America. Black people, not even fucking close. Whatever white women vote for, that's what you're going to get. Do white women vote for white? Do white women even vote for white women? No. When Hillary Clinton was up, did they vote? No, they voted for Trump. White women is going to vote for Trump.
Black women were so mad at white women for not voting for that white woman too. They was mad.
Yes.
They said, white women, how y'all fuck this up?
I'm like, what the fuck? What you mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, they are it's a sexist, misogynist, racist party. What the fuck you mean? But white, not only will white America reject her, but black America is rejecting her. And no matter how much propaganda that they put out there with Charlamagne the God, they can have Megan Thee Stallion twerking her ass, and they can have, Lil Jon doing the fucking shout outs at the DNC. That shit isn't gonna work. It isn't gonna work because you guys keep on trying to what's the word?
Delegitimize.
Legitimate.
I gotta get over here soon. We gotta get the pass on. I gotta get to the ear soon because we got round table.
It's like this shit isn't gonna work. It's the same Hillary Clinton strategy. She's gonna outraise Trump. She's gonna have bigger venues than Trump. She's gonna have more people come out. But Trump have the voters. damn sure white Americans.
And the black people that gonna vote for Trump, they don't answer unknown phone calls. So I promise you, they ain't polling them. So like I was saying, I'm being dead ass here. They don't answer unknown calls. We don't do that. That's bill collectors and shit. So with Palestine, Israel is now waging a war in the West Bank that they started yesterday or early this morning rather, and they've already killed around 20 people and counting. And they say that this war is, the foreign minister is actually saying that they got to do the same thing in the West Bank as they did in Gaza. I don't know if y'all saw about that, except for I don't know what could have triggered it, but there is no legitimate reason for the public that can justify what's going on right now. And yet, Kamala, I'm working round the clock for a ceasefire. Harris hasn't said shit. Like, it's notable. Trump hasn't said anything either. I wasn't really expecting Trump to say anything. But I do believe that this is actually a result, a two-part result. This is punishment. So, Nick, I don't know if you remember the other day I did that hotspot video about Palestine joining BRICS potentially. Not potentially, it's probably going to happen because Putin personally invited them. So after the November meeting that they'll have, Palestine will will apply for BRICS and they'll be accepted within a couple of months. And Israel had already announced a couple of months ago, July actually, that they plan on annexing the rest of the West Bank. They already announced that shit. So you got until October, effectively, for your whole little greater Israel plan. And once that deadline passes, and Palestine actually becomes a part of BRICS, that partnership is not just economic, it's military. So I believe that this is a retaliation partially, but also an act of desperation. But none of those justify what's happening, and yet here we are again. I've just heard a bunch of silence. I've been watching the news.
I agree with that's why I agree with Mara Kimberly in her assessment where she said the ICC should be dismantled and abolished. Has no use anymore, no need for ICC. It completely failed as an institution. In fact, it's used as a way to cover for genocide at this point. And there was a lot of people who, I wouldn't say they didn't like it, but they didn't like the vibes of my coverage of the ICC trial. Rome, you remember, because I told people, like, I'm not getting my hopes up. This is not going to stop the genocide. Mm-hmm. There's people in Gaza, there was a Palestinian resistance group that wasn't again decided. Because they're like, bro, this ICC ruling, the ICJ ruling, it's not going to fucking change anything.
Like, so what?
We're still going to see the cleansing of Palestine. That's exactly what we're seeing. And shame on all the Arab leaders. Shame on everyone who allowed this to happen. Because why the BRICS had to step up for this? Why isn't there mass revolts in the empire that's funding this in the UK, Germany, United States? It is disgusting, which is why I have nothing but disdain for the West, because I saw what was going to happen earlier last year. That everything was set in the ground for a massive genocide. The numbers come out of Lancet, none of that stuff surprises me. It always was the end result, and the West is 100% complicit. I think Israel is going to be successful, unfortunately, at mass murdering ungodly amount of Palestinians. I think before it gets stopped, we maybe see 500,000 easily. But it will be the end of Israel. But it's not how I wanted to see the end. I think Israel is over. I think this shit's over, but it's not how I wanted to see it end. Because it's going to end with the slaughter of countless Palestinians and entire population being traumatized. So it's just very depressing. It made me very upset. I got to speak somberly like this so I don't scream. You know what I mean? So
yeah, man. Hey, Ron, you got something to say?
I feel like, them joining BRICS is a good thing. It is a good thing, but man, I feel like it's way too late for that. We sat here for years, man, years and years, and we just, watching these people have, since just being blown to pieces. I think it's good that they stepped in, but I think it's a little bit too late. Like Nick said, we're going to see at least 500,000 casualties. You know what I'm saying? At least 500,000 innocent bystanders are going to be dead. But with that being said, I believe that we should they should join BRICS. I think we should arm Hamas not only with better weapons. I think we should arm them with tanks, better armor, arm Heboza, you know what I'm saying? Better funding for their military, arm the Yemen, because these are the real fighters, you know. Everybody want to step in when it's almost over. Like, oh yeah, we don't support that. We don't support. Man, that shit is done. 200,000 people are dead. You know what I'm saying? Gone. And that some of these people we can't even count for, man. But you want to step in now to make it look like, like it's like you and Nick sitting here punching each other in the fucking face. And after y'all, and I step in like, hey, break it up. Yeah. Like, nigga, these niggas
so I would
already
say
bloody.
though, so I want to give a counterpoint to that. So yeah, it's a little bit too late because everybody should have been stepped in. However, and this is something I've talked about. Actually, I think me and Nick have talked about it when we've had previous discussions about Palestine. I've been giving a prediction for a while now. Some people thought I was out of my mind. I said, nah, Russia's going to jump in. But the problem has been, so we know how the world really operates at this point. The superpowers on the West, they go as the United States goes. Russia has to plan most of its moves, you know, because they're not trying to spark shit off. They always are trying to do things diplomatically, but they also have to keep in mind public perception of what they do because they're still doing business with a lot of countries. And actually, when they don't do business, which is why they've operated with U.S. currency for so long, it's not because they couldn't have. It's because it's not because they couldn't. Or excuse me, it's not because they could only do business in U.S. currency. It was literally because we're actually trying to make sure that your people don't suffer because we're not fucking assholes. So that flipped once the Ukraine war started, right? But fast forward, I said, now, I said this about a few months ago, or I've been saying it. Now the U.S. cannot allow the war in Ukraine to end because Israel's losing his goddamn mind, right? Because Putin does not like Netanyahu. He is not liked him. He himself has made that clear, at least with his personal relationship. People were a little bit murky on where he stood when it comes to Israel and Palestine because of how many Russian and Israelis there are. But I've always believed that he actually prefers the Russian Israelis take their ass to Israel because you know how Zionists tend to be. If they are in your country, they're going to be messing with your government. So I feel like he preferred them to be in Israel. Now we're fast forwarding to a point where it's like a breaking point. And Israel will not leave Iran alone. That's one of Russia's allies. Yeah. Israel will not leave Syria alone. Yeah. That's also one of Russia's allies. They send soldiers to help there all the time to deal with the terrorists that the U.S. sends there. And obviously Lebanon. So now there's so much leverage and Israel's so stretched out that to apply for Palestine to apply to BRICS will now leave the one or two options. Either y'all going back the fuck up and y'all going to talk diplomatically because y'all know what's coming next, right? Because we have to remember, BRICS just started this membership recently, like accepting all these members recently and forming these partnerships. But now it's going to go from y'all going to accept this diplomatic relationship and calm the fuck down, or we going to work together, we going to blow y'all. That's it. And it's gloves off. We're going to war. We told y'all what time it was. And y'all had all this time to make a decision that benefited your existence, and you chose to do the opposite. So, unfortunately, we know Israel's stupid. That's the problem, right? Netanyahu is not Putin when it comes to strategizing. So, but I think that was the reason that the United States has worked so hard to keep Russia occupied is because if Russia does not have their hand tied behind their back dealing with Ukraine, because they do have to deal with it because now it's why do you think they gave permission to cross into the Russian border to start? Because they got to make sure that Russia stays engaged, because otherwise if they take their foot off the brake, they have the resources to allocate to the Middle East. And Russia does not fuck with Israel. And if Iran and Israel get it popping and Russia gets involved, China gets involved. Everybody gets involved. So your goal is to stop Russia from getting involved. And the only way you can do that at this moment is to keep arming Ukraine with unlimited weapons, which is also part of the reason why people believe that they try to assassinate Trump, because that plan is off the table. And Trump is not going to get involved if Russia goes to war with Israel. He's going to be like, damn, good luck, y'all.
Yeah, I totally believe Israel tried to kill Trump. I totally believe that. I believe
if there's an assassination attempt that Israel wasn't behind.
Like, man, come on now.
No, I'm saying
they're behind 9/11 with Bush. Like, I don't trust Israel at all. All of these things that happen, and we put the blame on these other countries just so how benefits Israel interest, right? Like, we're going to war in the Middle East we're going to war in the Middle East for weapons of mass destruction and all this. That helped Israel. I believe that they are behind a lot of these assassination tips on our politicians. I believe they have assassinated journalists. Not only the journalists they obviously are murdering. I'm talking about American-born. I'm talking about the leader of Black Lives Matter got murdered, and they took over his corporation. Yes, I believe it all. I believe, the true guy. It was a man who made Black Lives Matter. He got killed,
and then somebody took the corporation to raise all that money off of it. The dude in California that like actually owned the. That's crazy. I didn't know that he wasn't the original owner. I remember the story like, oh yeah, somebody's making a bunch of money off of Black Lives Matter because he incorporated it. I didn't know that the original owner got killed.
Yep, he got killed. And two women had took over, and they was doing work for the Democratic Party. Like all of these things it's just better for Israel. Not having like what
I have a hard out at too, by the way. I gotta get some and get ready for roundtable.
Yeah,
so we got enough
man, say what you gotta say, bro, before you.
Yeah, we have roundtable coming up, so I still got a few runs. I just finished my hotspot video before this. I gotta get something to eat. I ain't ate yet, and I gotta get ready.
Hang a bit. My bad, dog. My bad. Go ahead.
No worries. But make sure you check out roundtable. We gotta do this again. Like this, the roundtable between me, Rome, and Niko. I think this is something that we should make it. I think it should be more regular. Like maybe it should alternate between our channels. I like the format with us three. Unfortunately, I got hard out. We got a show. I gotta get prepared for, and I gotta get grab something to eat. But
hey, is it gonna be on RBN?
Yeah, it's gonna be on RBN at
plug your shit. Let everybody know.
4 p.m. Eastern, I think it is. So I gotta get everything ready for that. But we definitely gotta make this a thing for sure. Niko, Rome, and Nick, powerful panel.
Definitely, for sure. We gotta have that rap conversation too, Rome. We're gonna have that.
Yeah, I see you guys.
All right, broski. Bro, if you want to stay for these super chats, you can. I don't know if you got a heart out too.
Yeah, I'm about to go smoke a cigarette, but I just wanted to say, you guys, thank you for having me on, Niko. First of all,
of course,
but just watch out. You know what I'm saying? You building these movements, you being a part of these movements and these organizations and shit like that, they can be corrupt. Yes, they could. You know what I'm saying? This is why it's best to watch out and watch the signs, because when a leader of Black Lives Matter was murdered, they took over his organization and they started to raise money for Democratic Party. You know what I'm saying? All this other bullshit. And it's just like, this is why you don't see them out on the streets right now, right? Because police brutality has rised under Joe Biden, but we don't see them on the ground right now. So, it's fucked up, but we just have to watch out for these signs. I believe Israel is murdering our journalists, are murdering our activists. I believe they are behind. They are the hand behind that gun. They are the hand that holds that gun. And not only if they do it hand to hand, they can just train your police officers to do it. So
literally.
Anyway, I believe that Israel is behind a lot of our deaths, and we need to watch out for these people. But thank you for having me on. I'm about to go smoke a cigarette.
Appreciate you, dog, man. Hey, I go follow Ron. Hey, you back on Twitter? What's your new? Ron got like 18,000 Twitters.
Follow Rome from 6 Mile. Rome from 6 Mile. That's the one I'm currently on right now. Of course, I got some old backups.
Let me go ahead. Boss. Yeah, don't tell him that. Don't let him know.
No.
Let me go ahead.
No,
I'm about to go ahead and post a link. All right, bro. I appreciate you, dog. I'm gonna go ahead and get to these super chats, dog.
All right, thank you, man.
For sure. And who we got? Baker, thank you very much for the super chat. An eye opener regarding black voting rep. I get it. Yeah, no, that's I'm assuming you're talking about the John Lewis thing. That's crazy. Or you might be talking about the interview where the black voter was talking about why people are voting for Trump. Like I said, bro, like if you actually listen to the words she's saying instead of just focusing on the fact that she's talking about Trump or she's talking that she's voted for Trump, because they were just showing the paraphernalia of Trump, right? But what she was actually speaking to was like how black people felt as far as policies personally affecting them. And instead of asking, well, why do you feel Trump is responsible for that? Or why do you feel that is not happening or under Biden? Or why do you feel like other black people feel like that's not happening under Biden and Kamala? They were just like, oh, you're a stupid Trump supporter. We don't want to hear what you have to say. Like, then you don't want my vote then. Why you keep lying to me? I thought that's what we were talking about. Penny Arcos, thank you very much. As a Christian, I was raised to defend babies. Gaza, amen to that one. Yeah, ain't nothing says Christian Zionists, like allowing dead Muslim babies to just keep piling up because of a Zionist state told you to do so because of something that isn't even in their own book about Holy Land. But whatever, they got, boy, you ask a different Zionist why is their Holy Land, they'll give you a different story every time because the damn sure didn't come from the Torah. Anyway, John Freeze, thank you very much for the super chat. Boomer narcissism has killed and will kill millions. Yeah, man, boomer narcissism, and I would probably venture to argue millennial desperation. It ain't always their fault, right? I don't because our generation got like screwed. Con certeza, Generation Z, they're screwed more. Like they're absolutely screwed more. If things don't get better, and I ain't even talking about climate change. I don't know if y'all saw that weird article. Well, it's not really that weird, but it's a different conversation for a different day. But it was an article that came out and said that the ice caps are refreezing. So I ain't talking about stuff like that. I'm talking about like they said, the revolution. Subscribe to my Telegram if y'all have not yet, by the way. The revolution is coming, or the revolution is coming, and or the fall of the empire is coming. One of the two. But one will lead to the other. But unfortunately, the fall of an empire doesn't necessarily lead to a revolution. You get what I'm saying? It could just lead to chaos. Revolution insinuates a certain preparedness, right? That you have for when the empire is ready to break, and then that revolution can help finish the job and help establish a transition. That's not what we're seeing in the empire, which is partially why I personally believe that the global South will dominate the world alongside Russia in the global South countries that border or are near Russia, close to Eastern Europe. So for those of you who don't know, geographically speaking, Russia's like right above the Middle East, just in case y'all didn't know. Anyway, because if you look at the history of the global South, they do know what revolution looks like. In various places for various reasons. Latin America, specifically, a lot of the Caribbean, specifically, they do know what revolution and revolutionary organizing looks like. And I believe that when that time comes and it's time to capitalize, I believe that the global South, BRICS-aligned countries, basically, are going to dominate. I believe China's probably going to be one of those countries as well. I don't know if they'll be any more or less dominant than Russia, but Russia is very much so, they're not trying to take over people's economies to the same degree that China is. I mean, I'm being honest, right? Like I said, y'all know one thing I'll say about China. China, they're going to look out for China. That's one thing they're going to do. China going to look out for China. So they ain't going to massacre you to do it, but they still going to look out for China regardless, and their people tend to agree with it. Gentlemen, Gregory Walker, thank you very much for the tip on Rockfin. Gentlemen, imagine a world where our tax dollars help the people of the Texas Panhandle and Maui while we just let Israel burn. Whoa, imagine. What's crazy is if Israel is burning, Israel's only burning because of a fire that they lit. That's the worst part about that. And we ain't do it to them, right? I know what to do with one more video that I wanted to show you guys before. Oh my God. While we're on the subject of Israel. So there was this girl giving her logic. Because like I said, you ask a different Zionist why they feel justified in stealing Israel. They give you a different answer every time. And this girl's logic as to why she thought it was okay to steal Israel from Palestine, or she steal Palestine for Israel, is crazy. And this dude's patience, I don't really know how he has it, but we gonna look at this because I could not believe.
The idea of you coming from America to here, settling in potentially in Gaza, kicking Palestinians out, a lot of people would see that as settler colonialism.
It's not really colonialism, it's a return. My grandparents were kicked out of Israel by Arabs who were trying to establish a Palestinian state, and they had to leave for their...
My grandparents were kicked out of Israel by Arabs who were trying to establish a Palestinian state. So this is why I always tell people, like, if you ask your white grandparents from Alabama about slavery, they're not probably gonna give you the right answer, right? They're not gonna tell you how the slaves were really treated. Like, your grandparents were not kicked out because they were trying to establish a Palestinian, by Arabs because they were trying to establish a Palestinian state. There was already a Palestinian state. Palestinians and the Arabs were already living there, and to be frank, so were Jewish people. Jewish people and Arabs were living together. They didn't have to kick out anybody to establish Palestine. But this is what I'm talking about. She said that shit with the utmost confidence. Why? Because that's what grandma told me. My grandma would never lie to me.
Their survival, and I'm just coming back and fulfilling their dream. That would be the first thing. The second thing is, I think that, and I know this is a minority view, I think colonialism gets a bad rap. Like, genocide is bad, but colonizing places that are genocidal and they have bad ideology, it's good to come in and correct their views.
What do you think should happen to the people who are already in Gaza?
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear what she said? She just said that this is the minority view, but you know, they got bad ideology. It's good to come and correct them. Boy, is it? Did she just hit y'all with the Cecil Rhodes South Africa argument? That's what it sounded like. She just hit y'all with the freedom. I did some oil over there. Let's go get us some freedom argument. Y'all know what y'all doing with that. Well, give it. Y'all know what y'all doing with that gold. Y'all know what y'all doing with them diamonds. Give me that. Let me show you what to do with it. That's what she said.
The people who are already in Gaza.
Bad idealizing places that are genocidal and they have bad ideology, it's good to come in and correct their views.
What do you think should happen to...
Do y'all understand the fucking irony of that statement? She's like, she couldn't even get genocidal out of her mouth because she probably realized, damn, that probably wasn't the right word for me to use. Being an Israeli, that isn't even from Israel, by the way. She's from, I think she's from the States. She moved to Israel. But she's like, being genocidal. Oh shit, probably shouldn't use that word. But that Freud came in and snatched his soul, didn't he? But to say genocidal or bad ideology, and then those people should be free to come, that is a good thing for certain people to come in and correct it. First of all, bad ideology, I got a question, y'all. Is celebrating a literal rapist for sexually assaulting Palestinian prisoners bad ideology? Like, because it's not just the people. It's like television shows. It's the politicians who exonerated him and then justified it and then celebrated him as well. It's the politicians who also worked together to pass legislation to ensure that Palestinians would be overly held accountable for sexual assault accusations, while Israelis were not, because they said, "Oh, we deem if Israel deems that it's racially or religiously motivated sexual assault, then the punishment is double," right? Well, it's all that bad ideology. It's sterilizing a group of individuals that are also Jewish that came to your country because they have the same rights as every other Jewish person that arrives in your country, allegedly, right? It's sterilizing them because they're African. Good ideology, just out of curiosity. Is that good ideology, y'all? Is that bad ideology, as she put it? So, based off of her logic, it wouldn't be really all that wrong for those Arab countries to just come in and you know, teach Israel some good ideology, right? Wouldn't be all that wrong. Is hiding pedophiles, being a safe haven for pedophiles, is that good ideology or bad ideology? I'm just curious. Does she actually know what her country stands for? Or no, excuse me, what her side country, because you know, Zionists, they got a main bitch and a side bitch. They got a main one on the side. Like, Israel's always their side, because they always hop right on that goddamn plane. Woo! Y'all said bombs. See you later, guys. Let me know whenever the United States gives you that money so y'all can finish resolving this issue, and I'll be back. Let's continue.
The people who are already in Gaza.
So I think that there's a couple of possibilities. The one that I think is the most realistic is we got to ask other countries for help. I know that Spain was willing to take a couple of million. I know Russia said they would take a couple of thousand.
So a lot of people that would...
This girl said a couple of million, I don't think she actually has any idea how many Palestinians live in Gaza. First of all. Second of all, why don't y'all leave? Because your whole argument was just, I think it's okay to come to a group of people. Because what she suggested is like, if she would, that Israelis went there to colonize the area and to assimilate people so that they can live together peacefully, which is ridiculous and colonialist on its face. But now she's like, yeah, anyway, so after they get done assimilating, we need to send their asses on somewhere and make them somebody else's burden. Other countries need to assume the responsibility for our colonialism. Is this not Zionism in its purest form? A lack of accountability, deflection, gaslighting, and projection. That is literally, she's like giving a master class in Zionism 101 in like a 2-minute video. And she's not even done talking.
Sound like you're advocating for ethnic cleansing?
I don't think so, because Palestinian isn't an ethnicity, it's an ideology. And
she wants to ethnically, they want to, like Palestinian is not an ideology. First of all, no, it's like it's their home. They're literally Palestinian people. And it's like, if you asked them, is what Hitler did ethnic cleansing? They're like, yeah. And if somebody said, but y'all are a religion, y'all not a group of, like, that doesn't make any sense. Y'all are a religion. Y'all are literally a religion. Somebody, if I decided today, well, probably not me, because they probably have a bunch of files on me, but if I decided today that I'm Jewish and I want to go on birthright, Israel would pay for it. It would be a free trip. I'm Jewish now. Is that my ethnicity? Palestinian Arabs are actually Palestinian Arabs. They're Palestinian Jews. Like, you can ethnically, it don't matter if they're going to the temple or going to the masjid. You can still cleanse them ethnically because they're both Arab. Oh, or Christian. They've literally, I mean, they have been cleansing the entire region. Doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter what their religion is. That's one thing for sure, at least in Gaza. So, but like, to make that argument as a Jewish person, who y'all swear to God that everybody is trying to ethnically cleanse y'all, but y'all just a religion. Palestine is not a religion, bro. It's not an ideology. They were born there. What the fuck do you do? That's so wild, bro. Just born, they're born there. She's like, yeah, it's an ideology. What? What? Bro, Palestine is now an ideology. That's how ludicrous these arguments have gotten.
it's an ideology that says that they want Jews dead, and so we want them as far away from Jews as possible.
So now Palestine's an ideology that said that that's as Palestine, the literal country, is an ideology now that they just woke up one day and the ideology supposedly is they want Jews dead. So now her argument is that they want them as far away as possible. So yeah, actually, she's advocating for ethnic cleansing. That's the short. She went a long way around saying, yeah, I'm advocating for it, but they're not really an ethnicity. So the technical answer to your question is no, I guess. So yeah, like, I want them cleansed, but not ethnically. Like, bro, she got a kid. Listening to this, that kid's gonna go to school and repeat this same argument.
The would-be settlers take us to the Erez crossing. It used to be the gateway into Gaza. The area has been closed off by Israeli soldiers, but the group is waved through.
Anyway, so I just had to show y'all that video because this woman, because she just sounded so nice and sweet, right? As she was literally advocating for ethnic cleansing. And I just wanted to just to remind everybody that Zionism is not foundationalized in any concrete logic. There is no legitimate justification for how they feel about the situation, right? There's no history that they can point to legitimately. There's no facts that they can rely on. They can't even point to their own book to justify what they're doing and why they're doing it, literally. It's just like what's happening in the West Bank. They will find a different excuse every single time. If y'all watch the video, I just did it the other day. I just did it about bricks. I don't know I think I played it for y'all. No, man, let me see if I can find it for you. Maybe I did not play it for you guys. Oh, no, I didn't, because I didn't go live. I thought I played it, but I did not. So I'm going to find it for you guys to play. Give me 1 second. Because I'm pretty sure I did it like this. If I didn't do it this week, it was like the end of last week. I warned that this was coming. Palestine is going to apply to become a member of BRICS after the upcoming summit in October, and it's kind of a big deal. Now it's obvious. Palestine is going to apply to become a member of BRICS after the upcoming summit in October, and it's kind of a big deal. Now it's obvious how this is a huge deal for Palestine potentially. But if you zoom out a bit, it's actually a bigger deal because it gives us a little insight into how Russia feels about Israel's genocide in Gaza and how they plan to go forward strategically in dealing with it. Because as many of you know, BRICS countries, for the most part, have already expressed solidarity with the Palestinian people and have called out the genocide. But at this recent meeting with the Moscow ambassador to Palestine, Putin actually promised there would be an entire session devoted to Palestine at the next summit. What's more significant is that it was actually Putin who invited the Palestinian ambassador, and it is Putin and Russia who are inviting Palestine to apply to join BRICS. In other words, a lot of people were wondering where Russia actually stands on this issue. And finally, we are learning that Putin and Russia have chosen a side, and they've chosen Palestine. Some people believe that this is a combination move between both Russia and Iran to corner Israel into finally negotiating with diplomacy instead of bombs. Because although no one can really say what this means in the short term, what we do know is that BRICS countries have made it clear that they plan on protecting each other both economically and militarily. And Putin extending the olive branch to bring Palestine into BRICS officially means that he's signaling to the world that Russia is prepared to fight militarily to protect Palestine if they do get granted accession. So of course, I expect Israel to lash out because of this. And of course, the West will definitely lash out as well in order to protect Israel's interests. So I don't know how this is going to go, but it definitely lets us know how Putin is feeling, how Russia is feeling, and how BRICS is feeling about how Israel is conducting itself in the region. And furthermore, I'm not quite sure this is a step back from World War III or if this is a step a little bit closer to World War III, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But either way, it's good to know that a superpower is finally stepping up in some official way to protect Palestine. So yeah, so this was that video I did on, what day was that? August 27th. Oh, that was a couple days ago, right? What? Damn. So yeah, it was August 27th, a couple days ago. I literally said a couple days ago, I said, oh shit, Israel's about to lash out. There is no way that, because there's no way that Russia brings, because it'd be one thing if Palestine was just applying, because yeah, that's a big deal. But it was the fact that Russia, the way that went down is Russia invited the Palestinian ambassador to Moscow, had a conversation, Putin had a conversation with him. They make this agreement that after the October conference, Palestine will apply. But at the October conference, Putin promised that there will be an entire session dedicated to only discussing Palestine. And that's it. So it isn't just lip service. It isn't, you gotta remember, strategically speaking, Putin doesn't need to bring Palestine into the fold. That actually just adds problems for BRICS. It's like you're adopting a world breaker, a world breaking problem. I don't know how else to describe it. And you know that. And yet you are catering to this group that you can't gain anything from. And you know it's going to cost potentially lives to fight for them. That lets Israel know, okay, shit, Putin is not playing no more. And if Putin's not playing, whenever Iran decides to do what they do, that means Iran's not going to play, because now they know Russia and other military powers like China, for example, even Brazil, South Africa, they are now within their rights, based on their organization like NATO, to cooperate militarily. And whenever they be like, oh man, Russia's acting imperial. No, they're just doing what y'all would do for any NATO power. Because remember, NATO has an automatic trigger. If you mess with another NATO power, then they can go to war with you and NATO will approve. It's almost damn near a requirement. So and now understand, Russia's aware of that. And last time I checked, Israel is a NATO power. So you don't want to trigger a situation where you become outstretched and outgunned too soon before you build up the military alliance. Remember, they're building up an economic currency to transition out from the dollar, because you got to, if you go to war with, because that whatever happens with this situation, this is the end of Israel. But we all knew that if it's the end of Israel, we knew the empire is not far from falling. Excuse me. So we knew this. So Putin's not stupid either. So that's part of the reason why BRICS is developing their own currency. BRICS got Saudi Arabia already. BRICS got Iran, and obviously China. As far as agriculture is concerned, they got agriculture and oil, lithium, and all that stuff. In Latin America, they got, well, Venezuela's applying officially, so, and they're going to be included, of course. Largest crude oil supply in the world. And they got Brazil already, that has one of the largest oil supplies amongst a plethora of everything else. Bro, I'm just not learning that Brazil actually has some of the largest gold reserves in the world that are only being tapped recently. It's like, you see, I know that there are a lot of people who are just like, damn, why doesn't Russia or Iran or whoever just go at Israel right now? And I get it. I mean, like, because that's probably what I would do. I would just say, fuck it, we got to go now. But in the context of the rest of the world, to make sure that more Palestinians don't suffer in the future, more Arabs don't suffer in the future, because you can't get this wrong. We know that. You can't get whatever happens next with Israel wrong, because other people will die in the region. Greater Israel becomes a greater possibility if you mess this up, if you rush things. So from a military strategic perspective, I understand it. I hate it. It sucks. But if you want to make sure another Palestine doesn't happen again in our lifetime, or what happened to Syria or Iraq, I mean, shit, you can make, we know that most of the wars in the Middle East that have taken place in the last 50 or 60 years are because of who? So you want to make sure that that doesn't happen anymore. We got one chance to execute this, and I really don't really trust anybody else with a military or strategic mind to take, and the power to take on the U.S. and NATO more than I trust Putin. Putin, he's proven. He's proven now. So them joining NATO, or excuse me, Palestine joining BRICS, this was going to be the result, was them lashing out, was Israel lashing out, like we're seeing happen in the West Bank. Because it's right. You know how the light bulb is. When your light bulb is about to burn out, what does it do? It gets brighter and hotter. And that's what we're seeing. But it does go out. You might, damn, I ain't never seen my light this bright before. That's crazy. Because it's about to go out. And they literally are trying to justify they're saying it's a terrorist operation. They just killed a bunch of innocent people. There's no terrorists that have been named in the deaths so far. They're just killing innocent people in the West Bank after they already announced plans to annex the West Bank in July. And they're literally saying the foreign minister for Israel, Katz, I believe his name is, came out and said that they have to evacuate the West Bank like they did Gaza. And they have to handle the West Bank in the same way that they're handling Gaza. But if that's the case, that means that they can't go back home, because they said it was a temporary evacuation. But if you're handling it like you handle Gaza, that means they can't go back home. Yeah, we know. They know. But Palestine joining BRICS at the behest of Russia, do you think that 100% annexation of what the West Bank is possible under those circumstances? After November, it isn't just the U.S. The U.S. elections play is going to be such a game changer, and it's not even because necessarily of like it's a duopoly, right? But the way that the rest of the world operates within that duopoly does matter. That is changed by Trump winning or Kamala winning. Kamala winning could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. It could cause the empire to implode. Trump winning could actually mean that those people that the U.S. hates so much, we end up actually negotiating with them, because Trump loves a good deal. And if he sees the direction that the country is going in, he's not going to start a losing war for a bunch of NATO leaders that he doesn't even like. He doesn't like NATO. People forget that. Trump did not like NATO, and NATO did not like Trump. So he ain't going to war for Macron. He don't fucking like Macron. He ain't going to war for the UK. He's not going to war for Western Europe. He does not with Russia and China. It will lose. That shit ain't got nothing to do with it. He like, it's better for us to stay out of that shit. And so all of a sudden you have an opportunity to figure out a way for the U.S. to transition into this new multipolar world, because Trump will not want to be known as a president who lost the fight, basically, because this is the last fight before the empire crumbles. So do you want to be the one that got us the deal that we probably shouldn't, the plea deal, because that's the only deal that's the only way I can think of to describe it, because the U.S. doesn't really deserve it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I always think to myself, goddamn, if our day comes, I'll live with it, because I got all the benefits, not all the benefits, still black, but I benefited from the empire in some way, form, or fashion. It wasn't my choice. I was born into the social contract, but you know what I'm saying? Like I got so much. Even as a poor black kid growing up, I was in top 1% of the world. That's crazy when you think about it. Even now, I'm in higher. Most of us are. Top 0.1% of the world. And oh, by the way, I don't have to wake up and worry about my house being bombed at any given moment. So I've always prepared for that. But if we end up getting a plea deal, the U.S. gets a plea deal, which I imagine is what will likely happen, then maybe we can transition into this multipolar world in peace. And we won't have the dominance, but like, like I always say, what is that dominance meant for the average U.S. citizen? What has U.S. global dominance meant for you, your family, your kids, people whose credit card interest is going sky high, people who were told for years, you gotta have a college degree. All of a sudden now you don't have to have one, but they told you to pay for it, and you paid and paid and paid and paid and paid. And it really should have never been that way. College should have never skyrocketed, but that was the government too. They did it on purpose. It was basically a career tax. You want to have a secure career, or you want to have the opportunity to have a secure career, we're going to have tax for that. That's the U.S. They tax you on everything you need, including a degree, and they just couldn't call it a tax. What has it done for your electric bill? What has it done for your gas bill? What has the U.S. dominance actually done for you other than allow you to achieve the best version of mediocrity potentially that you can achieve? Because you can only become super wealthy by scamming to some degree. I mean, there's people obviously that break the mold and you become well off, but like that's few and far between. You have to have very specific talents usually. But generally, there are scammers, and there are those who end up being able to make money because scammers provided the seed money for their technology or whatever, their company. So like, But for us, for everybody else, for small businesses, for the average Joe, for the working class, the more dominant the U.S. got around the world, the worse it got for us. It has literally been, it's like the stock market, right? After World War II, the U.S. went public. It was a private entity. Now it's public. It's an IPO. And everybody knows once a private company becomes public, it is the shittiest version of itself and it never gets better. That's how it works. Because they have a responsibility to the shareholders now, more so than a responsibility to the consumer who got them there. And that is basically the United States. The United States was a privately owned company. Well, actually, technically, I think it is still, but that's a different conversation for a different day. But it is now an IPO. And everybody is beholden to their shareholders, their board members around the world that are running the country. And we don't have enough stock. We don't have enough shares for our opinion to matter to the board. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for liking this video. Yeah, like it too. But thank you all so much for tuning into this live stream segment of For the People podcast, man. I really hope that y'all enjoyed that conversation between me, Nick, and Rome. Go follow them on RBN. Definitely go check out that round table they got at 4 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to go check it out too. Make sure y'all like this video and make sure y'all share and make sure that you subscribe. This is your first time here. Hit that notification bell. You can support the channel by obviously donating super chats. You can also become a channel member where we post exclusive content. And we're still trying to get to 20 members so we can do the Rockfin exclusive, Rockfin YouTube exclusive stream for our members. So y'all help us get to 20 members, man. Y'all gift some out there so we can do that. Because I also want to do a Zoom conference call with our channel members and our Rockfin members too. So, which would be one of the perks for becoming a premium member in addition to the other content. Because I just like talking to y'all, man. And it's good to talk to like-minded people. And I think that other people who are part of the community would enjoy talking to like-minded people as well, because we could all use support at times. Yeah, so make sure y'all, if y'all got it, become a channel member. Shout out to our Patreon supporters if you're here from Patreon. Make sure y'all follow me on Twitter at Real Niko House. Follow me on follow Hotspot at Hotspot on X as well. And follow me on Instagram at Real Niko House. Follow me on TikTok at Real Niko House. I've just started posting to TikTok again. We'll see how long they let me do it. I really be coming off and on every couple months because they stop me from posting every couple months. Yeah, so I guess you can follow me on Facebook too if you want, but whatever. We on Rockfin and Rumble too, baby. So go follow us there. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, always remember, more than anything else, find your balance. Peace.